well. Anyway,
Let's
we're
go.
back. Turn to your neighbor, say neighbor.
Neighbor.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah,
and then obviously you know what to do. Hit hype on the YouTube video, and then follow us on everything, man. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. We're on there as well, fam. It's old school, but
WhatsApp. Don't forget WhatsApp. We're trying to get promoted by WhatsApp.
man. Send this. Tell your mum to put this in the church GC as well, fam.
Yes,
We're trying to go viral on WhatsApp.
Don't forget to add me.
Everyone's trying to go viral on Insta now. We're trying to go
Viral on WhatsApp.
the day I see our episode, get reposted or one of our clips get reposted.
My WhatsApp.
But because one of those brokers checked.
You
done your job.
What? We're clear, man. That's what we're. So tell your mum to put in the church GC.
Man, put in the church GC.
Is your mum in a group?
She has a platform.
A platform is hilarious.
That's what they call it.
Bro.
Yeah, that's what
I'm going to put her on the platform.
The platform.
You know, I need to tell sorry. My mum made a mistake. She put my wedding invite on her platform by accident.
Oh,
Bro.
How many people in that group?
Bro, maybe 400, bro.
Yeah.
It had the Google Drive, bro. The way I was just cancelling videos.
I know.
Deleting names.
They
I'll
will
just
actually engage.
Because the thing is, my dad calls me from there. She's like, Shegun, do you know what your mom did? I said, what do you mean that?
Oh, because your dad's also on the platform.
No, someone told him that my mom did it.
Okay.
Your mom put the wedding in the platform. I said, what?
Damn. And them group chats are big.
Bro.
Yeah.
Bro.
My parents had some of those as well.
I called my mom. I said, Mom, what happened? She said, Shegun, I didn't know. I was just trying to forward it to somebody.
And you know, once you miss the window, you can't send it now.
Bro.
You can't send it, fam.
Anyway,
Bro,
but
my mom's in a group, fam. She's got her own little squad. There's she's in those platforms as well, but she's got like her
own squad.
gang, fam.
Okay,
There's
in that circle,
there's
fam.
like 8-9 of them.
Nice
They even
one.
have a name, fam.
Okay.
Unique Essex ladies.
Come on.
Now don't laugh at my mom's group. Are you mad? Are you mad, fam?
UEL.
Yeah, Unique Essex ladies, fam.
SS ladies.
Yeah.
UEL.
The youngest is like, it goes from like 55.
Yeah,
bro.
62.
Young girl.
Wow. Bro, 2 weeks ago they did girls trip to Germany, fam. From like Friday to Sunday.
Germany.
Yeah, my mom.
I said Germany.
Yeah, to Germany, fam.
Germany.
And my mom was telling me, my mom was like, every time, because before that they did a cruise.
Yeah. Oh no, they do soft life.
That's
Cruise.
cool,
Bro,
though.
I can't like this.
Staple.
I can't lie, my mom used to join such group. That's a good
I
group.
would
cold,
like,
man.
they
That's a
enjoy
good
it.
group.
Yeah.
What they do as well is like every month or every other month, they all go to one person's house. One
Okay.
person will host.
Yeah.
That person will cook, lavish, and they'll just chill there.
Yeah.
So
That's
sometimes
lit,
when it's at
bro.
our house,
Yeah.
I'll just I'll come down, greet them,
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
leave.
Yeah.
Your
But
mom
like,
has
my
a-
mum proper plans for it.
She
Like,
has a
That's really
community.
good,
cooks
That's
big
good, man.
meals.
That's a
Proper
community.
Yeah,
community.
That's
good
a
community.
community.
And I'm like, you know what? I like that for you.
Yeah.
She went to do cruise. I said, we went to Germany. We did gala nights. I wore dress. And
Yeah.
I said, yes, mom.
Mom's
Yeah,
living.
no,
she's
She's living her life.
She's living.
She retired or no?
Huh?
Retired or no?
Mom, nah, she's still working. She's going
Do you have to wait to be retired?
No, it's cold. It's cold. It's
Yeah.
cold.
You
It's
know
cold.
that,
It's
like,
cold.
when they reach that age where most kids are out of the nest,
Yeah.
grandkids, all of
Soft life
that,
can be
it's
big.
kind of returning back to what they
They
knew
used to, yeah.
in terms of community.
Yeah.
But now the cruise one, because that one, cruise, parents last couple of years, they've been on quite a few.
Yeah.
My in-laws as well. That one, Dubai, they're going to this place
Yeah.
and that place. They'll be sending us videos.
Bro, I think you're enjoying,
Yeah,
bro.
they're
I live my
100%,
life
bro.
happy, though.
100%.
That makes me happy, though.
100%.
That's
Even
what
my
it should
parents. Yeah, even my parents.
That's how it should be, man.
She went to Dubai as well with the same group. She
Did they
said-
wear matching Ashobi when they go to parties?
Bro, they
That's
they
lit,
go
bro.
in, you
All
know.
white party or did
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys do
She
your
was
thing.
by oh, I want the Burj Khalifa.
Michael, can you see it? The camera angle's mad.
It was so hard.
I can see the 10th floor, bro.
I can just see a building. I can't even tell it's good.
Yeah.
It was so tall.
Yeah.
It was so tall.
I'm just like, you know what?
Nah,
I'm
moms are so
happy.
cold, man.
No, but the thing is,
She's
like,
living,
see,
man.
after years of you seeing them work so hard,
Yeah.
this is like really a lovely.
Yeah, it's lovely.
That's how it
Yeah,
should be.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like,
It's
for
lovely.
me now, my parents, I see like my dad's really now vying for, you'll just go to mama, let's go to Amsterdam, let's go to all
man.
these different places. And for me, it's like I said, bro, there'll be times here when my dad will do night shift for the whole week. Still come to church in the morning.
Yeah.
Still help us to get ready for school in the morning.
Wow.
Like, working. Yeah,
No,
no.
getting kids ready in the
Cross your
morning is
leg
mad,
and,
by the way.
you know,
Bro, I had my niece this last weekend, yeah. And honestly, children are more tiring than the gym, bro.
I can imagine.
Bro,
I can imagine.
To be fair, no, what am I saying? Of
Bro,
course, they're more tiring
waking
than
them
the
up here is already a sport in itself.
Everything you do with them is an event.
Bro, bathing. Then he had to do breakfast because I don't eat breakfast before church. Bro, make breakfast.
But the kid can't go hungry. Whether you
Oh,
eat or not, that's your business.
Yeah.
And then
They have to
the
eat.
missus even had to pack her packed lunch to take to church.
Church,
bro.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because they'll
just
get
in case they get hungry. Yeah.
Because we're going to be in church. We're not going to come out till 4.
Yeah.
And I was just like, raw. Because that weekend was supposed to be 3 kids, but by God was great.
God was merciful.
It was merciful. And he said, just take one.
Yeah.
Because even her alone, when we dropped her home, I came home and slept. Straight. You know them naps our dad used to do when after church? Those beautiful. You know what?
You getting up.
At 3 p.m, your dad would just go upstairs. He'll come down 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Rest.
I watch news.
Yeah, bro.
Hey, yo, do you man know?
Plate is on the table.
Because mom knows the deal.
Mom knows.
She knows.
Cold
She's got to sleep. By the time he wakes up,
Yes.
his plate is
Cold Super Bowl.
Just there.
chilled. Chilled bottle of Super
I wait for my era. That time.
Fam,
Bro.
do you man know what REM sleep is, fam?
Yeah,
That's the sort of
That's the
sleep.
one where
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
well
You
rested.
know?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
not-
absolutely.
But no.
Anyway, we have a special guest
You
with
know.
us.
Yes, we did
This one,
introduce.
if the anointing is overflowing.
Wow.
Yes.
The minute he came, I touched the hem of his garment.
He had to
He's
be
an
touched.
apostle, though, you know.
Powerful,
Yeah.
powerful apostle.
We got an apostle, a content creator, a learned man, a father, a husband,
A lyricist.
a lyricist.
All of it,
You know,
fam.
don't think we
A drummer. A drummer.
Fashionista, don't worry.
Fashionista.
Miles, keep, let his head swell, Jared. Keep
A
naming.
footballer.
Come
My
on.
namesake.
Namesake. Come on.
Wow,
We have Apostle Emmanuel in the building.
We welcome you.
Welcome. Thank you, man.
Yeah,
Really
yeah.
appreciate you
Thanks for
coming,
joining
man.
us, man.
It's good to be here.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's lovely to have you, man.
You know, and to truly break the ice. You know?
Yes, we have to
To
break the ice.
really, you
Not like the
know-
ice needs to be broken, though.
You know,
but-
because you get me, we're
Yes,
locked in
yes.
already. But just for this platform,
Yeah.
we want to see how general your knowledge is.
Oh, wow. Hey. Wow.
Huh? How general is your knowledge?
Wow.
You know, I won't take too much of your time. You know, like they do in church. I won't take too much of your time.
Wow.
Then they end up taking a lot of your time.
And on my last point, 30 minutes goes again.
5
That's
hours
before
later.
prayer.
So yeah, we're just gonna give you maybe 5 to 10 general knowledge questions, just to see how sharp you're. You know,
Wow. Okay. Okay.
you know.
And it's
So-
Emmanuel doing it. This guy's IQ is like 2 million, bro.
We thank God. I pray for such. You know, I say amen.
He's
and
a
I
Brunel
pray.
graduate
Wow.
now.
It's
Of course.
true, it's true.
You know,
Us Brunelians.
Come
we know,
on.
You can
we
do
know
it.
ourselves.
You can
We are
do it.
learned.
Exactly.
What do you mean?
Exactly.
so these questions can come from any sort of sector of life because you know the knowledge is general.
Of course.
So,
I trust my guy.
So we'll start off with an easy one, just to get it.
Okay.
This is considered to be easy, Sha.
Okay.
So, what river flows through the Grand Canyon? This is considered to be easy.
The
I'm
Grand
not gonna lie, even
Canyon.
me, I would,
River?
yeah.
In the Grand Canyon.
Through
In
the Grand
America?
Canyon. Yeah.
River.
Where did the man catch
How
this
do you know what river?
This is peak still.
Now, innit?
The river now, bro. Any other river is a counterfeit.
The one in Egypt, long.
I said river, what? What river?
River.
Okay,
Grand
I promise the
Canyon.
next one will actually be easy. This
Grand Canyon.
That one, yeah.
Yeah.
What river is
If
it?
that one is meant to be easy, the rest of them are going
Okay,
to
it's two already.
It's going to be brutal.
Yeah. This
So
one.
the
Wait, do you know that one?
I said before I asked you, yeah. If you had asked me, I would have scratched my head because.
Okay.
So
Where is it? Where is it?
It's the Colorado River.
That's a Colorado River.
Colorado.
Colorado River.
It is
yeah.
well. It is well.
Oh, duh.
Honestly, I thought the Grand Canyon didn't have any water. I thought it was just
I
a
didn't know.
canyon.
I thought it was
Yeah, I
a
just
big.
thought it was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I got another one. Yeah, true or false? Yeah, Holland is a region in the Netherlands.
Oh, yes. I believe it's true. That's my answer.
Looking at me like,
Holland.
No.
is a region in the Netherlands.
He's a true contrarian. He likes to be
Because
contrarian.
the Netherlands has bare different tiny islands. And I think Holland is a central area.
Has tiny
Yeah.
islands.
Yeah, it has islands.
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 Okay, yeah, it's true. Of course,
Okay,
it's
true
true.
now.
Oh, it's true. Okay.
It was true. I
I thought they were the same thing. I thought it was a trick question.
No, it's not
Yeah,
a
I
trick
thought it was a
question.
trick question too. Yeah.
It's not a trick question.
It's lands. Netherlands.
Yeah.
With S. It's
So,
plural.
so the question
Ah, but
was,
United States of
Holland
America,
is a
man.
region in the
It's-
Netherlands.
it's true.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. Okay.
So okay, cool. Another one that they say is easy, right? This one I would get though. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
So, what is the capital of Canada?
Hey.
Yeah.
Oh, I know this one.
Oh yeah, now.
I'm aware of this.
So there's
Hey.
3 possibilities. Quebec,
Is it Ontario?
Montreal. Ooh. Could be Ontario.
What did you say?
Could be Ontario.
Which
I know
option
the
did
answer.
you?
Quebec, Montreal, or Toronto?
You said.
No, it's not Toronto.
It's not
It's
Toronto.
not Toronto.
yeah,
It's not Toronto.
You said
Montreal, I don't
you
think
said
Montreal.
Ontario. Did you say
It's none of the
Ontario?
ones you said.
Quebec.
You don't think? Oh, is it?
It's
Oh,
none
you
of
know
the
it?
ones. Yeah, I know it. I know it.
Sorry, what did I say again?
You said Ontario.
Ontario. I
think
think
you said
yeah,
Ontario.
It's
Ontario.
close.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
are
it's not.
close.
Okay. it's
Okay,
not.
I don't know.
Can you phone a friend?
Oh, I allow food into Ottawa.
Ottawa. Ottawa. Okay,
Ottawa.
okay,
Ottawa.
Correct.
Wow, that's
I'm not gonna
good,
lie.
bro.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you know the reason I knew that one is because it's so left field.
That is,
It's
yeah.
because it's so left field.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You never hear of it.
Toronto, you'd think
Quebec.
Ottawa
I
is
thought-
so
I thought it was-
Toronto, I know is hype.
Yeah,
because
it's
of
hype,
the
yeah,
culture.
because of the
Exactly,
culture,
yeah,
yeah.
because
So
of-
left
That one
field.
is
one
the
is-
cultural capital.
Yeah,
Where
that's
it's
the
not
culture.
so-
I really
it's
thought
not the
Quebec,
actual
though.
capital.
Nah, but bro,
Nah, Quebec is
No.
that's like the French
Yeah, that's
area.
the
area
French,
of,
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah,
Canada.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
cool.
Okay, Ottawa. Okay.
So we take it to the medium level.
Ah,
now, yeah, apparently, right?
Okay.
So it says, on which continent would you find the world's largest desert?
Oh, I know this one.
I know this
This
one
one. This is a common cheeky
Yeah, it is. I know,
cheeky
I
question.
know this one as well.
Yeah, this one.
You know, for AP.
Yeah, I know this one.
The world's largest desert.
Yes. On what continent?
On what continent?
I mean,
Yeah, I'm not good with geography. I'm just gonna be biased and say Africa.
Okay. Does anybody else want to
Is
answer?
that
Desert.
Antarctica?
Desert.
Wow, hallelujah.
Desert.
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 It's Antarctica.
Desert.
Antarctica.
Is that a desert? Is that classified as a
It's
desert?
not-
Because
That's the fun-
that's
again,
it.
it's a left field one.
That's the
because
mad thing.
I think a desert is classified by like the amount of rainfall, and the rainfall there is zilch.
Yeah, it's classed as a desert.
This one is interesting.
Yeah.
I remember we did something on that one.
Yeah,
time.
we did. Yeah.
So there's no technicalities with ice. Ice being water.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be
literally.
sand
It
or
doesn't have to be
anything.
sand.
Yeah,
It's-
literally, it's about
about
rain.
rainfall.
Like, it's about rainfall. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
So, okay, cool. I'll give like 3 more.
3 more.
You
Okay.
get me? Then we'll get into like, you get me? Cool. Let me keep it medium before I go to the ones that they call difficult. Okay, how many colors are used in the South African flag?
Ooh.
Red,
I don't expect anyone to get this one right, by the way, because I wouldn't have got it right. But
Red.
I want to see where people go.
white, black,
You're good.
green,
Come on.
yellow. 5.
Okay. Any other?
I was gonna say 6 because I don't think you said blue.
I'll say 5 as well.
Blue in the South Africa flag.
There's blue, no?
Is it?
At the bottom, no? Am I bugging?
So you said 5.
Guys, speaking of UN flag.
No. You said 5. You said 5. You said 6.
Wait, get that flag up now.
Yeah.
Get that flag up now.
We'll do it after. But
I
you said 5.
I
You
think
said
5.
5. You said
I
6.
I said 6.
It's 6.
Hey,
It's blue.
Yeah.
Get that flag up, man.
But
Wait,
there's
Get
6.
that flag up, man.
White,
Yeah, 6.
black,
6.
yellow,
I don't know if it's blue, but
Green.
there's 6
There's
colors.
blue, bro.
red.
I'm sure there's blue. I'll be surprised
Had
there's
you had
no
asked
blue.
me, I probably would have said 4 or
There's
5.
no
True,
blue there.
true. I'm sure there's a blue.
I don't. It might not be blue. It might be another color.
There's a blue. That flag has blue, bro.
It might be blue.
That's so mad, fam.
It's only blue.
Everybody-
Because it's blue.
Please,
we
put
have
the
to-
South
we have to-
Africa flag on the screen for us.
put
For
the
us
South
to,
Africa.
you get me?
My phone is embarrassing me at the moment.
Don't worry.
If I connect to Wi-Fi, but yeah.
I'm a David. Don't
There
worry.
is.
There's
Oh, there's a blue.
There is.
There's blue.
Yes! That is what I told you! Come on! Don't test me!
And the
I
blue
didn't
is
know.
And the
even
blue!
loud.
It's even loud, it's
No,
blue!
but he said at the bottom.
At the
So
bottom!
people
I
shouted
did it like
first.
this!
still learning.
Yeah, that's
You're
a good one.
That's a
That's a
good
good
one.
one.
That's someone that watched the World
That's a
Cup.
good
one.
He paid attention.
That 2010
Yeah.
Shabalala
Yeah. No, the one that just went.
It's just there.
Nah, that's good.
That's a
man.
good one.
That's a great
good
one.
still.
Wow.
That's a good one. Let's get one more. Let's get
One
one
more.
more.
Yeah.
spot,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. So, this one I'll take it to like biology, right?
Ah,
Okay.
Okay. How many bones do we have in our ear?
What?
How many bones do we have in our ear? You know this?
I don't know the exact
80.
one. I don't know the exact, but I think there's like 3,000 or something.
Right?
Okay. What's your
3,000 in your
I think it's
ears.
3,000 or something.
Whoa.
What's your number?
Ha. AP's from me off. 3,000. That's a
I
lot.
feel like I've heard it on one of those YouTube videos that
I know the
girls watch.
smallest bone in your body is in your ear.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, the smallest bone is called, I forgot the name of it, but I've seen it on a general knowledge distance before. The smallest bone in your body is your ear. But I don't know.
I was touching that.
I'll say
Yeah, everybody is touching it.
It's mostly cartilage.
Like, you
I'll
can
give you that
count
one.
it.
Yeah, I'll give you that
mostly-
clue. Your ear is mostly cartilage.
So it's not a
I'm
lot.
wrong. Okay.
I'll say 102.
I'll say it's lower than
3,000.
your initial guess.
It's in the thousands though, no?
No, lower than that.
It's not the thousands. Oh.
No, it's lower than that.
Okay.
I don't know. I'll say 3.
6.
Okay. We've all finished guessing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael got it right. It's
3.
Yeah.
Three
Do you know,
bones.
you know your ear's mostly cartilage. It's similar to like your nose. Like
Yeah.
there's not actually like a lot of actual bones in your ear. That I won't lie though. It's only because, like you said, this is a normal general knowledge question
Yeah.
that comes up. Had you had asked me, maybe I wouldn't have known.
Fair enough.
I wouldn't have
I
known.
need to go and
But
buy a
anyway.
general knowledge book again.
It's good though, isn't it? Challenge your mind.
this place will
smooth,
test
fam.
you.
Wow.
Challenge your mind.
But
Smooth,
AP,
fam.
now thank you so much for coming, man. We appreciate you coming. Obviously, I'll quickly share. Obviously, AP's my pastor, leader of City Worship London. And can't lie, he's been a very good person in terms of stewarding me in my faith. I've known him since I was 4.
Long time.
4, 5,
time,
4, 5. Yeah, since we're kids. Because
Like 26 plus years.
yeah. Because funny enough, just quick background. My dad used to go to his dad's church for night vigils.
Yeah.
And this is even before we went to the same school.
Yeah.
So after that, he came to my school maybe like 3 years later. And then I was in like year 4, year 5. He was in year 7. So yeah, so I've known him for
It's crazy
a
how
very
the network works.
bro.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
ended up going secondary school with younger brother.
Yeah.
He's the best man at my wedding as well. So yeah, it's just like been a crazy journey.
Yeah.
But it's amazing to see what God is doing in your life, bro, and what He's used you to do, and the church He's using you to steward. And I think one of the first questions we wanted to just talk through and just talk about was just around just church. Like, what made you passionate about church? What made you want to love God, and what made you kind of drove you down the route of becoming someone to lead a church?
Well, I'm sure you guys have probably like heard from certain people like when they talk about their journey into ministry. I didn't want to go into ministry because I grew up at PK. So both my parents in ministry, pastor in the church. Pastor in the church is the last thing I wanted to do.
It wasn't glamorous.
Nowhere near glamorous. I was like, if I've seen the shiggy that people have done to my parents, God forbid that kind of thing. But the thing is, I love people because of how faithful my parents were and because of how good as leaders, like my parents were really good leaders. People loved them for what they did. So there was always that part of me that was like, I do love people. Like I was always drawn to serving people, helping people, being a voice for people. And fast forward, I think, around uni times anyway, this is post getting saved and all of that kind of stuff. I really started to feel like God was calling me to some sort of ministry. But I was running away from pastoral ministry, like pastor in a church, starting a church, whatever. I was trying to run away from that as much as I could until I got to a point where it's just like, I can't run anymore. It's quite clear that God is calling me to this and I'm just going to have to say yes. But I kind of tried to do this thing with God where I was like, there's terms and conditions. You have to, I don't want my family to suffer
read the
for
book of
this.
Jonah, fam.
Listen,
you
you can read the book of Jonah and still say, this one is my own. Like, you can do that Gideon thing where it's like, put the fleece out. If the water is on the outside and there's no water on the fleece, then the next day it's like, okay, if there's water on the fleece and no water outside, then I'll know. So I kind of did that with God, like in a sense of look, if I have to go down the traditional route and become a hypocrite and fail in life and fail in marriage and fail with people, I don't want that. And then also at the same time, I'm like, I don't want my family to suffer because of ministry. If my family are going to suffer because of me doing ministry, I don't want ministry. So I'm just giving you, where it's like, yeah, you then grow to understand that this one, you can't give God terms and conditions. But also, I came to a point where I was realizing that some of the cultural, traditional things that we've seen, I was then putting that on God. And then having real conversations with God. It's like,
get into that.
I didn't tell you that this is what ministry for you will look like. You're just speaking from what you've seen as context. Because the honest truth is, and I say it often, like a lot of the PKs that I know, most of them are not in the faith. Most of them don't have a relationship with Jesus Christ.
And it's funny you should say that, because I was in what I was going to ask you in terms of, like, I know quite a few PKs as well. And the last thing they want to do is become a pastor. Because I think it's, they see the toll it takes on their
You
parents.
see the backstage.
You see the backstage.
It's messy.
And I actually sat down with one of my friends who's a pastor's kid, and like they broke it down to me, and it was like, your dad literally has to give himself to everyone. Like one uncle and one auntie, they're having problems in their marriage at 1 a.m. and they call Pastor, I'm gonna kill her. I'm gonna kill him. Bro, he's leaving his house to come and sort it out. You know what I mean? Regardless of what he's doing, because you literally have to be a shepherd to your congregation. And that's a heavy burden. So you even mentioned, like, with like family, how do you balance ministry and not allowing it to affect like your family, like, cause like your husband and your father as well?
So what I learned from Pops is you have to prioritize your family. So that's what I've done differently to a lot of people. If I don't have my house in order, I don't have anything valuable to offer to the sheep, to the people that I should. Because if my house is in disarray and I'm coming to preach to you guys, everything that so many generations or millennials and Gen Z have been complaining about previous generations, I'm now doing the same thing. And I say, oh, praise God, we're doing revival, we're doing this, that, and the third. These times my house is not in order. And the Bible says anyway, one of the qualifications for an overseer of a church anyway is to have their house in order. But we're seeing, because of how gifted people are, because of how much pressure there is, because of how big a demand there is in church, people are just, because of their giftedness or their charisma or their gifts, they're just thrown into the spotlight. And we have helped create monsters. We have helped churn out this machine. I call it the machine of ministry, where we churn out these people. And a lot of them started with good intention. But when you enter it's just like, you know, in America, they had that thing, what's it called? Greenleaf, that show, Greenleaf. Where in America, like, Christianity is cultural. It's systematic, systemic. There's a way it
organized.
looks. It's organized. There's a way, and it's ingrained in society. It's kind of like how it is back home in Africa, the continent. That's how it is. It's in the West. The West, we're Libra. We're very liberal. You can't say we're just church. If you want to go to, if you don't want to go to church, it doesn't matter. Whereas in the States, you're not going to church. That one is a taboo. The pastors have their protocol. They have this. They're having conventions. They're having the money that is attached to it.
So culture around it.
Literally. So when people are having conversation, then there's the business element of it. So in America, you have. It's a lot more in America than it is over here, but you have executive pastors. Executive pastors are looking more at the financial element of it, the brand element of it. That's when I realized, this church that we have in the UK, even though some churches, some larger church denominations have like executive pastors, but it's not as common as it is in America. If you're a mega church, you have an executive pastor. That one, then I realized, it's a different ball game. So over here, it was just kind of like, okay, in my context, family is my priority. So if my house is not in order, my mantra is I don't have anything valuable to give to the people. I could do the gifting thing. I can preach. I can do all of, but it means nothing because I'll feel empty. So once I have my house in order, then that allows me the freedom to do this. And I was saying to someone last week, when my house is in order, my ladies, my wife, my 2 daughters, they back me all the way. They push me to do what you need to do. So that's when I feel the most confident. When my wife and my daughter's back, cool. Said to the girls before I was leaving today, Daddy's doing a podcast. Oh, what is it about? I said, we're gonna be talking about different things. Okay, Daddy, love you. Go and do your thing. Looking forward to watch it soon. they're immersed in my life because I'm immersed in theirs. So they understand more and more. So it's not, they don't just see me preaching on a Sunday. I'm very much active in the day-to-day. So when you were talking about doing packed lunch, who does their packed lunch? Sunday, either Sunday mornings or Saturday night, I'm the one that does packed lunch for them.
Wow.
And they can appreciate that. Because what you're saying, what you're saying is real. And I think
This guy's put me in trouble, man. Oh no.
what you're saying is real because
Yeah.
even for myself, right, like growing up in a Christian household, one of the things that I really appreciated was that element of the fact that, like, who my father was to the world was genuinely who I got at home. In terms of, like, you know, looking after me. And it's not like, oh yeah, like you would be shaking some type of shake, and then when we get, he'll fix his tie. And then like genuinely, he would risk his own self to ensure that he's able to do what he that he needs to do there. But then also he's doing what he needs to do here, and that is not an easy thing.
100%.
That's not an easy thing.
100%.
Because I was gonna ask, like, what does it look like keeping your house in order? Because that must be such a serious task in terms of managing a home, managing a church, and being able to kind of ensure your home is the priority. Because I can only imagine the demands a church brings. How do you, like, ensure you're still able to ingratiate yourself in every part of your daughter's lives and your wife's life as well?
For me, I think it's priorities. So when people say, how do you balance? I don't like the word balance because my philosophy around balance is it shifts drastically from what we learned in primary school. In primary school, we learn checks and balances. You put something on this side and you have to put the equal amount on the other side. That's not how adulting works. That's not how the real life works. That's not how real life works. So I believe in more having a philosophy around prioritizing. So for me, in every season, there are priorities. For me, family, I'm prioritizing my family, but it might look different in this particular season. Because they're good, because they're refreshed, because they're happy, that then gives me the freedom to maybe focus more on church stuff.
Okay. I'm with you.
And then there might be a season where it's like, okay,
to
cool,
shift.
haven't been doing enough date nights. Okay, now, so we have to cut back from certain church responsibilities, or maybe I need a sabbatical or whatever. Okay, we're doing date nights. The girls have got stuff going on in school, blah, 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 blah. But what I do that helps me really is, for the girls, for example, if they're outside extracurricular activities, most Saturdays I'm there. After school clubs and stuff like that, I'm the one that's picking them up and stuff like that. So I'm engaged with their lives. With my wife, it's more, we don't always get to go out. So it's making most of the small conversation or small moments of time in the evening. Babe, how was your day? Okay, are you okay? How is work? Like, are you feeling under pressure? Is there any way I can help you? Having those meaningful conversations, because we don't get 2 hours to speak in the evening because there's church meetings. When people say, oh, please, can I get your time? I'm just like, you're asking the right person the wrong question. Because I don't know when I have free time. Most evenings, church stuff. There's something related to church. And then there's moments where I specifically carve out to fuel myself. So on Tuesdays, I know between 8 and 9, don't disturb me, I've gone to kick ball. No one can call me. You can't even allocate a church meeting in that time. Because everyone will know.
Be there.
AP's not going to be there.
Yeah, that's for my
AP's not going to, that is that time. So, and I don't get loads of that in a week, but there's just certain moments where I'm just like, that time, I protect it. And I've had to learn that the hard way. Pandemic probably, was that moment where, I had to make that hard decision. Like, I'd realized for so long in ministry, I'm prioritizing everyone. I'm prioritizing the church people. I'm prioritizing my family. I don't have no time for myself.
And that's not good.
Then I was looking back and I was realizing during the pandemic, we're hearing all these crazy stuff, people passing away, blah, like it was real. And I was pouring my heart out. Testimony after testimony. I was just like mentally just declining. Like I was already on the way to being bored. That one, pandemic, it just expedited the process.
Accelerated the process.
Like it just accelerated I was losing hair like crazy. That's what it was during. I just said, you know what? I have to cut this whole thing off. I was putting on weight during the pandemic. I put on 2 stone. Like I was there for everyone else. I was losing myself. Once the last lockdown lifted, I said, nah, I've got to do something that is for me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So.
And this links to a question I want to ask. I'm going to take it back to something you said initially, which was you were kind of miscommunicating the message of what God was sending with what you had learned from the past of church, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask, would you have said, or would you say that was part of the catalyst that drove you into ministry? So in a sense where now, because you have an understanding that this cultural element doesn't necessarily, even down to like, for example, how you structure your life now as well, like with the free form in terms of being able to say, I'm gonna go to kickball. You know, back in the day, Pastor, what football? Where? Pastor, you and my life is. You're talking about football.
Imagine see your dad bang ball.
Being able to have that sort of like shift. Of that cultural element is actually not good. Like how important was that for you, and how much was that like a part of your decision making to jump into it?
I wouldn't say that was a catalyst. I think it was an important conversation where God had to reframe my mentality about it, because by then I'd already said yes.
Okay.
But at that point I was saying I was giving God terms and conditions. Okay. I say yes, but these are my terms and this is the contract. But that point started like a renewal of the mind towards leadership. And that's not to say that everything traditional or cultural is wrong. It's about what out of the tradition and culture overrules the word of God that you're trying to adopt that needs to be removed. And what are the elements of culture and tradition that we can loosely use in our church community or in my personal life as a leader that still allows me to be the person that Christ desires for me to be.
I guess reform in a way.
Yeah, so having a renewed mindset about what leadership looks like, that was very important for me to feel free, because for me, authenticity is a very big thing. If I cannot be authentic, then I don't want it. And I think sometimes I feel like it's a pendulum situation. I feel like millennial and Gen Zs have done this thing where millennials more so, because we saw a generation do X, Y, and Z. We didn't like it. So we went to the other side. Do you know what I'm saying? You had some bad experience in Redeem. Now you're saying, okay, I'm going to Anglican. I don't want to be around black people anymore. It's just like, how far now? And I get it, because I understand like people have had a lot of bad experiences, but you have to be careful don't throw the baby out with the bath water. Do you understand? You know, so I think it was just one of, but then Gen Z is just like, Gen Z, their mantra is kind of like, we're a new generation, we will do things our own way. We want authenticity, we want realness, you know. I don't care if my pastor is wearing bikini and this, that, and the third. We will like the picture. It's just like, okay, guys, we're going to take it too far. We're trying to overcorrect now. So for me, it's just, I know that as a believer, first and foremost, my life has to align with the word of God. That's my primary thing. When we get into, I was going to say it's the semantics, when we get into having maybe differences on theological leanings or maybe how we implement culture and tradition, that's a different one, but we can have more mature conversations about that. For me, it was more, okay, cool. I want to serve God's people authentically without having to pretend like I am one of the men from Pops' generation. That you have to present yourself like, man of God. You have 5 armor bearers here. You have 5 armor bearers
protocol?
there. Protocol. That's what they call them. I don't. Okay, so cool. I say this often. I don't like.
Protocol is funny.
Bro, I'm not a fan of it.
The Bible like this.
I'm not too keen on
honest,
protocol. I'm not too keen on protocol. However, I don't want to cause a stir, because I know quite a few of my peers, like, I believe in protocol, but not, when I'm saying protocol,
I get what you mean.
Because protocol is an
umbrella.
Because if you go to like a big church as a minister or whatever, there should be a level of something.
Yes,
right?
no, there should be protocol.
A level
there
of
should
something.
be how you
conduct.
Exactly.
But the protocol, the type of protocol I'm speaking about in this sense is someone holding your Bible, someone holding your
water, and your towel.
This, that, and the third. So me, when I go to places and they're trying to honor and respect or whatever, they're like, sir, I want to take your Bible. I'm like, God gave me 2 hands.
Yeah,
I'm capable.
I'm good.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'll take my
The
iPad.
Bible
my
is not that.
I'm
I
going to
think
say,
that's
you get what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah.
And some places they're like, if I don't take your Bible,
They're
my
gonna
apostle
flog me.
is going to I'm going to get in
I'm
trouble.
going to be you.
So sometimes I'm just like, okay, because this is the protocol of the house, let me submit to that because this isn't my church or whatever. And even in CW, this is not to say that CW were lax with protocol. Now the guys help out, but me, it's just a thing of authenticity. For me, looks like I'm a man that is doing this by the grace of God. So by the grace of God, I'm doing this. By the grace of God, I can preach and teach. Don't worry, I can know my Bible. Don't worry, I can carry my bag. Last year I went somewhere. And the protocol lady, she's like, sir, I need to take your bag. I said, I can carry my bag. I'm good. She said, no. She was like, no, sir. And I could see the concern in her face. I just
Get
took off
out.
my bag.
Have you
I
seen
just
Get
said,
Out? Have you seen Get Out when they look in their eyes?
I just,
She's like, you haven't seen my pastor flog somebody,
Like,
please. I don't want it.
I just
My
took off my
superiors
bag.
are
I just-
watching.
You know what I mean?
teaspoon,
And she was a
yeah.
young lady.
You
I
can
just
hear the
said,
teaspoon.
just there you go. But for me, ministry is not about the hoo-ha. The way I do life, the way I do ministry is by proximity. I do understand as I've grown older, boundaries and having space between you and the people that you lead within reason is important because the times that people are calling you at 1 a.m., that's a disrespect.
Yeah, it's a disrespect.
Yes, I am your shepherd, but this is
I'm a
my
human
time
too.
with my
Yeah.
wife.
Cool down.
I could be cuddling up with my wife. I could be doing worship with my wife.
hello.
And you're calling me at 1. Do you get what I'm saying?
Hallelujah.
But there was a time when early days of ministry that used to happen.
Yeah.
Especially before we started CW and I was doing campus ministry, I was universities and colleges and stuff like that. People would call me at the time when I was a pastor and people were like, oh, Pastor Iman, can you come to campus? Someone is manifesting.
What do you want me to do?
2 a.m.
Me, that's already.
Man,
I'll walk to Brunel or walk to the campus that they were calling me from. I'll go to we'll be doing deliverance at 2 a.m.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, you put yourself on
And
the
I had
line,
work.
bro.
I have work in the
next
morning.
Yeah. Stay there.
I was doing it for long. Church was there was 6 days of church activities. There's only 1 day off. I'm doing the most. Aside from our church responsibility, I'm on campus every single day. Calling you. Someone has mental breakdown. Someone has been sectioned.
So you learned the hard way on what it meant to put
I
boundaries
learned
in
the
place.
hard way. Because otherwise we'll be saying culture and tradition. You've never seen your pastor just go for a walk with his wife. There's loads of pastors that have never left the country.
Because there's
Because
so
they're
much
just
on there's so
jogging
much on the
straight.
line.
Yeah, straight jogging,
And
yeah.
it's funny enough, like me and us when we linked up maybe World Cup final 2-3 weeks ago, and we had a conversation around authenticity and transparency in the church. And it was one of the issues us as men have where we see people who, how can I explain this? Who look like us, but maybe don't have the same experiences as us, and kind of struggle to connect with us. And sometimes it feels like, what's the word? An image is portrayed of someone who is perfect, who is untarnished, and hasn't really had to almost go through what certain elements of men, or should I say a larger elements of men, are having to go through to see Christ. And I kind of, because one of the questions I've been wanting to ask you is like, how do we as a community ensure more transparency from leaders to kind of just show like how hard it can be. For example, I don't know if you saw this, there was a minister who was on a podcast recently who unfortunately stepped out on his wife. And it was one of the first very few times I have seen someone acknowledge their sin in the open and show their journey towards redemption. I know you talked about it earlier briefly, but what in your view should that look like in terms of what should transparency look like? And do you think the church at large that we are in kind of lacks that? Because I think, and you might maybe join in if you want to, but I think there is something as men that we need to see to be like, okay, he's come through similar struggles as me. I can make it too. Because that's what really stopped. That's what really hampered my faith at the start. I'm a PK as well. And like, it was hard to see like, everyone around me was no one's going through me. I was in the church first where the testimony on Sundays were about immigration statuses.
Yeah, literally.
To this day,
Trust me.
artists are still asking for
Papers,
money,
trust
fam.
me. Papers, fam.
Red
No, but
Bali,
it's blue. They get red now. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's blue.
Change.
But I feel like So obviously, in that context, you have a church who isn't serving the generation. But I think we're now raising a church where it might not necessarily be serving the men as well. But I kind of wanted to get your view on that, and then maybe there's a follow-up.
Can I just add on to that as well? Like, I remember that conversation that we were having with regards to transparency in church, right? It kind of stemmed from actually the men's fellowship that you were talking about, 412.
Yeah.
And we're going to get into that later on in the pod as
By
well.
the way, I've never seen you at 412, man.
I haven't
seen. I don't think
No,
I've
no,
seen
you
you
know
at
what?
412.
Should I be, okay, wait. Should I be honest?
Oz is lucky he's not here as well because I have a query for him.
Should I be honest? Should I be honest?
Where is that?
Should I be honest?
Yeah, go on.
We're
Yeah,
going
that's
to
what
get
I
into
meant.
it, right?
Yeah.
Did you see the 412 video that I put in the chat? I said this was one of the few
videos you've liked.
videos that I've liked and I've agreed with.
Right.
I don't always agree with the videos you guys post.
Don't worry, we'll get onto that one though.
Because-
let's
No,
And
it's
for
coming.
me-
It's in the same
and for me,
similar
I
lane.
see it and I don't like. I've got very strong opinions.
Okay.
And I'm thinking one or two things is gonna happen. I'm either gonna come there and you guys are gonna be discussing something. I'll be like, hello, this.
This is wrong.
Respectfully, you man are saying nonsense. And that's my opinion.
Okay.
And I'm not, you know I respect you, innit?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
not in a disrespectful thing.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say my piece and I don't wanna be looked at like, who's this guy that just come in so upset? I'm not gonna just fall in line because you man think this. No, I think this way.
Yeah.
And I'm not too prideful for us to have a discussion. You change my mind, I'm like, fair.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you, nah, that's nonsense. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
Or it's a thing where I just get it, I'm just like, this is a waste of my time. But I do see some videos that I'm like, this makes sense. I agree with this.
Yeah.
The last one that you released, I'm like, makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think for me, goes back to the point Sheg was saying, is the relatability and transparency. I see a lot of young pastors, and I wouldn't even say necessarily young pastors, but just pastors in general who before you were called to Christ, right? Before you reached this level of grace and anointing, you was doing that.
Yeah.
You were mashing work in any area of the work.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like you've reached a point where you have enough grace to overcome temptations that us
Mere mortals.
mere mortals, I love
Still
that.
battling.
We're
with.
still battling,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it's almost like you're speaking from this high ground of moral superiority that doesn't allow us to relate.
Right.
Because I want you to speak to me from the position of when you was hit.
Right. Okay.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because for me, I can't relate to how you, let's take a popular one, lust. I can't relate to the way which you deal with lust because you're speaking from the new you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not at the stage of the new you.
Yeah.
So when you're saying all this stuff, you're kaboshing and kabak. Allow it, man, move. You don't know what it is. Bro, I'm not saying this is me, but
Yeah.
you don't know how it feels. Yeah, you're all married and that with your kids. You don't know how it feels. Becky called me last night. She said, pull up. The temptation's high. When's the last time a girl called you and said, hey, pull up? It's you just find your way here. It's on. Oh, that's temptation. Come on, pastor. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
I
it's
hear
like a lot. I don't think a lot of men can relate to that because it's just like,
Oh my goodness.
bro, the gulf between where we're at and where
It feels like a chasm at times.
Yes, man.
exactly.
And it's like there's, but anyway, I think
Yeah.
we've
Yeah,
said a
no,
lot.
What
We've
do you
said
have
a
to say to that?
We've
I
said
want
a
you to
lot.
try
We've
and
said a
link it
lot.
to like
Yeah.
the transparency piece, like
The
that-
transparency piece.
what he said.
I think-
what
I
he
think
said,
it's
try
a
and
lot. It's a
collaborate.
lot.
It's a lot. I'm
Yeah,
listening,
yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm gonna, as much as I will get through, and if I miss anything, let me know. So I'm gonna start from the jump. So the 412 men bit. This is one of the things that I see a lot of men do. You've seen stuff online because before last year we weren't really as active on socials in terms of reels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But what you're seeing is a snippet of a big conversation that's been happening with men sharing their views. You've come to 412, man.
I told them.
So
He did mention
there
that
are other men amongst you
Yeah.
from here,
Yeah.
from this ground that have come that can vouch for what I'm saying.
Yeah, I vouch.
So what you're saying is that one is a you matter.
in what way?
In a sense of
You perceiving the
what
content.
you have perceived, for even if you come once, because you made 2 points, you're like, I see some stuff and I don't agree with it. I feel like if I come, I'm just gonna cause trouble. That's not what 412 men was part of it was created for that very reason.
Yeah.
Because as men, we're coming together to reason. We've come and built a table and we're here to build the skeleton, but we want men to discuss and reason together and think about how we're going to move forward. It's not one idea that's going to challenge the whole narrative, which is why for me, if I segue slightly, for me, when I'm speaking about topics around manhood, family, X, Y, and Z, I'm speaking from a perspective that I've spent time to think about, I've reasoned on a lot, I've read, I've done the research, and I've come to some strong, and then also based on faith, I've come to strong conclusions which I come out to share. That doesn't mean I may not grow in my understanding, I may not learn more, I may not change. Certain things I won't change for sure. But there might be certain elements of growth and development that I'll have along the way. That's part of what manhood is journeying. And you have to be able to be grown enough to accept that. But for your second point of, if I come and I find it boring, well, in life, you do a lot of things. You go, you're like, I went to this place, I heard it was gonna be nice. This TikTok generation, someone told me that this place was gonna be nice. You went there, the food wasn't nice. You don't go there again. If you come to 412 men and you don't like it, that's for you to, you know what? It's a decision I've made. But I think what you're talking about, there are many men. We've been doing this thing for nearly 10 years. There have been many men that come and have strong opinions.
Yeah.
That one
Every
doesn't
time.
stop us from doing what we're doing.
Not to cut you, I do feel like it is unfair to judge solely based on the clips.
Right.
But again, I like the impression that I got with some of the clips that I've seen. It's it just seems too pandery, man. It seems like there's a lot of
but you know,
happening.
let me
And
let
for
me jump in
I
there. Let me
would
jump
be
in.
like, oh, what,
No, let me
what
jump
we
in. Let me
doing?
jump in.
I don't want us to forget the transparency.
Yeah,
no,
we'll come
we'll
back.
circle
We'll
back.
circle back.
Yeah,
We'll circle
this is
back.
a big-
I like that transparency.
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
get
come
there.
back.
We'll get there.
Let me jump in there.
He's dissecting it bit by bit. This is the 412 section.
Point one.
Point
That's how
one.
it started.
Point one.
So
And then
I'm
we
just
go
coming
point
around.
one.
Yeah, exactly. I'm coming around. But
Yeah, let me jump in there. And
Yeah.
the reason why I'll say I'll jump in there is because I've been in the room on numerous occasions, and that room, what should I say, promotes people talking against the grain, obviously in a respectful manner, and it happens consistently. And I think it's important for people like you who talk against the grain to be in those rooms, because I feel like it challenges the views of everybody and makes people think from a different lens. Now, the clips you see, and I think the reason why it's done in that way at times is I think it's very difficult to put the challenging stuff out there because those conversations are meant for the men. Not necessarily for the public like
It's locker room
Yeah,
style.
it's locker room style. Is
Certain things were said.
Yeah, like
you can't even share it.
it's
One,
it's
it breaks the
private.
trust
yeah.
of what's going on, and then it then will stop men from coming. If men wanted
Yeah.
to come, they would
'Cause,
not come
okay, Michael,
because
imagine
they will
this.
see
It's
people
mad.
getting
It's a
caught.
catch-22.
Yeah,
Be like,
that's
You
it.
can't even
Man,
say the
I'm not
GM.
coming. You came. You said
Exactly.
your thing.
Exactly.
They clipped you up, pull you up,
Yeah, bro.
and then you're getting violated.
Yeah, it's a catch
You won't want to come.
No, you won't want to come.
Yeah.
And anyone who has your views again won't come.
Yeah.
And they won't
Exactly,
speak. And they
exactly.
won't speak. Because in that room, like Chatham House rooms, people have bared their soul. Like dark things that happen in their family or issues they're going through, things that have happened in their past and stuff like that. They've said it there because they're like, this is the only place I feel comfortable that I can actually
safe
chat
place,
about
yes,
this stuff.
yeah,
100%.
So I think it's a catch-22 for them because it's like you want to promote promote a Chatham House community, but at the same time you also want to show the goodness that's happening in the room as well.
Right.
So it's why most of the time you will see AP people on the panel,
The more palatable
or
clips.
people who are
known than that.
known to the owners of 412 that are clipped up. Because what you don't want to do is put someone who innocent guy. Look, I have some views that are fair and are supportable, but a lot of people may disagree with them because they're not traditional views we may have.
E-Man has already inadvertently signed the indemnity waiver.
Yeah.
So it's like.
So
bro,
whatever
you
he
can
said,
come-
you got.
Yeah,
you can
I'll
come
take
and-
the bullet.
Bro,
Yeah.
I think he's
I'll
still
take the bullet.
got cooked.
He's
still got cooked.
Do I not get cooked? Do I not get
He's still
cooked?
got cooked,
I've
bro.
been cooked by men. I've been cooked by women. So I know I'm not here to. But we're
You
not
can't
doing
really
this
take
to
the
win.
risk of other
That's
people.
not why we're
Yeah,
doing
still got
this.
cooked.
That's why this platform has not is in place. We're not doing it to
win,
because I was thinking about last week. I was thinking, do people actually think I want to be put on the internet so that I can be? I know people do content creation for that reason. Don't get me wrong, but I don't come out on the internet. I want the narrative to change, which means I'm going to say things that people don't like. And even me, as balanced as I feel like I may be at times,
Still getting
you
war
still
zone.
get
War zone.
cooked. So that is really the thing.
Yeah.
We have spent time and invested in making that space a safe space.
Yeah.
Men feel safe coming there, but we do have ground rules.
Yeah.
If you're speaking mad, if you're speaking brazy, if you're speaking violent, if you disrespect other people's
Yeah, of
views and
course.
opinions,
Yeah.
cool. But it's just that, as he said, it's just that certain things, if we put it out there, it breaks that vibe, especially Men's Monday. It breaks that aura. It breaks that tradition of being a locker room style thing.
Yeah.
And it's not for women to hear everything we're talking about.
Yeah.
But
Fair.
it's enough for people to watch and go, we're coming next time.
Yeah.
That is why, since we've been doing reels,
The-
most
yeah.
weeks, over 100 man come into
come
the
in the
room.
room. Yeah.
There are men who say, oh, it feels like you man are pandering and X, Y, and Z. Then we have psychologists that come into the room that are breaking down on this level. Then we've got man from the road who are coming and saying X, Y. We've got certain men that are just doing metaphysical, and we get the whole bunch.
yeah.
We get people who are not Christians come. Do you understand? So we get the whole reason is we want men in that space. Say what you're saying. There's ground rules, but say what you're saying.
Yeah.
And then we can reason. That's what manhood is about. I feel like there's a lot of, especially, I understand there's a lot of apprehension amongst men.
Yeah.
Do I wanna go to this thing? Is it gonna be like church? Is it gonna be like X, Y, and Z? But then at the same time, where even though I'm not gonna go there, I'm not gonna go to the transparency bit straight away, but it has allowed men to be transparent. A lot of the time, I'll be very honest, most men that come, they come because of women. Mums, girlfriends, fiancés, wives, sisters, cousins are sending the men in their life. They go to this thing. That's why I asked you at the beginning. I said, I've never seen you. But there are brothers from this household that come.
No woman has told me to go.
You know like that?
But I'm sure.
No woman has told
Shakes,
me
I
to
said, man, then why don't you come?
Have I not?
No,
Have I not? Have I not?
Because what
Have I not?
I find is a lot of man.
They treat me like
won't
the black
say
sheep,
come.
Apostle.
Even if you're black,
They
we
treat me
want
like the
them
black.
to let-
They don't love. This is business.
Are you a black sheep or not? What are you, bro? Are you a white sheep?
Nah, but you know what?
Are you a white
You're
sheep?
giving yourself reason to be.
Are you
we're not
a
black
white
sheep.
sheep?
You black
Are
said
you?
yourself.
Well, are you not? Are you a black sheep?
No, what's it? But no,
I don't
I
understand.
like what Michael was saying because I think obviously sometimes it's good to sort of hear the truth from the person that actually owns the platform and whatever. So I guess anybody that wants to go for 412, you've heard it.
I'll pull up to 412.
Come,
Now that you mentioned it, I'll pull up to 412.
It's going.
wanna
You get
have
me?
it.
It's
We want
going.
to
I like. The thing is, I do like the initiative.
Yeah.
It's just the reason I brought it up is it relates to the transparency bit.
Yes.
And like, it didn't seem relatable to me, but
Okay.
I will definitely come in. But
But
let's
wait,
dissect
yeah,
the
that was
transparency
the-
bit,
okay.
and let me even link it before you go.
Wait, no, before
Actually,
you go.
go.
Because
Okay.
this is a topic I know
Yeah.
Iman.
Bro,
Now
Iman
it's-
wrote a
it's
dossier
deep in
on
my
this
heart
one.
as well, that's
The
why.
room is getting hot. This thing is even adding more flame. This one is
This
blowing
synthetic
fuse.
flame.
No, it's genuinely blowing up.
is it?
That's what I'm roasting it.
So something to me that,
Pause,
that
pause,
obviously I said pause. Oh, you audience at home.
Worship is good. Worship is good.
So
Worship
for
is good.
me, yeah, like something that you said that was very like poignant, right?
Yeah.
And it links back to everything we've been discussing, which was you weren't gonna do ministry
Yeah.
unless you were able to be authentic
Yeah.
and like yourself,
Yeah.
right? And for me, right, back to like the transparency piece, back to like what Michael was saying about, you know, feeling comfortable to come there and share opinions and all of that sort of stuff. For me, growing up in an African background, it's back to what you were saying about some of these cultural things that are mixed in, right? There is a bit of a taboo around transparency. There is a bit of a taboo around being open and honest. And for me, that's something that I can personally say, similar to Sheds, definitely caused me a lot of turmoil as I was growing up.
Right. Why?
And because you're asking me to be a way that you went through a process to become,
Right.
that you haven't explained
Right,
or
okay,
shown me
okay,
how
okay.
you got here.
Okay,
You've got your equation
Yeah.
and got your answer, but not giving me the
Right.
formula.
Okay.
And I
Cool,
remember
cool.
having a conversation with my dad, genuinely, bro, because you know, like it was getting to a point where like I'm going through Western education, all these different stimuluses and all these different things. You're asking me to be a type of way, gee. I don't know, but the thing is, you're not
The
willing
soil
to,
is not conducive for
and
that.
you're not willing to show me where you came from
Yeah.
Right.
to become
get to this
or,
point.
or like what turmoil you went through to become this version
Right,
of yourself,
right,
right?
okay.
So I had to sit down at a point and tell him that, bro, like you're making like it's like you can't just ask me to be like you. Whilst I don't even know what you were like before, where you were coming from before. Not that I need to know, but it would be helpful
What's your journey?
with the journey and being able. And I think for me, that's something I see in church in general. For me, it is missing. And
Right.
I'll use a perfect example, right?
Okay.
I'll use a perfect example.
This one I might need to borrow your phone.
I was even gonna. That's what I was
Yeah,
even
well,
gonna do.
you might have
I've got
if you
a
want. I
I've
don't
got
know
a
if you
perfect. I've
want
got a perfect example.
Yeah.
Your things up. I remember when we were going to Thailand, right? As a group of boys, right, back in the day, and obviously, I'm a Christian. I've grown up in a Christian household, and you know whatever. But I've gone through my struggles in life, right? With different things, right? So with that being said, obviously, going on the trip with a group of boys that were like predominantly like at that time very heavy into the faith.
Yeah.
Bro, I was a bit like,
Yeah.
oh, what's this chick
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
be
yeah,
like,
yeah,
bro?
yeah.
Like,
That was
to
an
put it-
interesting
to put it
trip.
into context, that we got a noise complaint in the room
For
because
praise
the
and
man
worship.
was
or
doing
praise
praise and
and
worship
worship.
too
Yeah.
loud. Do you get it?
Wow, okay.
So just to put the group into perspective,
He
right?
needed me on that
so,
trip, bro.
so
No, there was a
obviously-
split. There was a fracture in that
So
group.
going on
and
that trip, I was
There were the
I was
believers
very, like,
and there were
And
the.
the unbelievers.
like I was very like skeptical and very
Yeah.
sort of like, do I even want to really? Because obviously, like I want to be like, because I'm still me, right?
Yeah.
Similar to you, bro.
Yeah.
I would just be myself,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
I'm not here to pretend. Like,
Yeah.
I'm on my journey
Yeah.
and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
So with that being said, we've gone out there now, and I've met one of my friends. I'll even say his name, Tosan, right? And he showed me a side of Christianity that, in my opinion, I haven't really seen before.
Right.
G was just honest, bro. When I say like through his struggles with whatever it's the past life he lived, whatever, he was honest, right?
Yeah.
And there was a level of like honesty that I could be like, rah, like I see where you're coming from, even if it's not necessarily the exact same issue or problem.
Yeah.
I can see there's a depth that you're coming from.
Yeah.
There's a, and then, you know, the examples and the journeys and the sort of things that he had to do to try and, you know, it really made me endear myself and really listen to like, rah, like what have you got to say?
Yeah.
And it showed me that, rah, no, I don't think Christianity was the issue.
Right.
I think it's the fact that there's not many people willing to be that way when it comes to Christianity. Because for me, it's not the fact that you're perfect that's the issue. No. It's the fact that you're not willing to show the working, to show what actually happened. No one's saying don't be perfect. Oh, sorry. No one's saying don't be holy.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Goal, bro. We should all want to be holy.
Yeah.
But be willing to be transparent as to how and what you have to do to get there. If you're not ready to share that story, in my opinion,
Fam, how do you expect me to go on my journey?
How can you help anybody, in my opinion? So that's basically what I want to ask from you as a pastor.
Listening to what you're saying, I feel like there's two things at hand. I feel like there's a transparency issue, I agree, but I think there's a discipleship issue. Because what I've found a lot of the time is that people are asking for transparency, but if your pastor didn't go to the club, wasn't sleeping around, wasn't doing drugs or doing everything that you're struggling with, does that mean that he or she can't be a voice in your life? And I think sometimes I hear a lot of people say they're not relatable. I don't feel like your pastor has to go through what you go through to be a voice in your life. This is where the next bit comes in, with the discipleship element, which is, I'm going to walk with you. So this is where you were talking about someone showing you, you've now got someone walking with you, modeling the life that Christ desires for you to walk in. So I think sometimes the two go hand in hand. The transparency element of it, because you can be around pastors who have gone through what you've gone through and then do the discipleship journey. But then sometimes you may not have pastors that go through exactly, but they're still willing to do this discipleship thing. In this conversation, I think a lot of people conflate a lot of different things. So it's hard. That's why, for me, I want to listen. That's why I'm listening to what you're saying.
And I even like how you split it out, because I even see the two sides that you just
because
said.
People say, oh, we want transparent pastors. And I don't, honestly, I think if people, I'm going to explain why I'm saying this. I don't honestly, I think people have warped view of transparency. If people want transparency, look at social media right now. We are now in a place where oversharing is now the new norm. So in a generation before, they didn't share anything at all. Now we've gone to the other end. I keep on going back to this pendulum thing.
Yep.
Do you know so?
We go to the other end and now we're oversharing. But oversharing is normal.
So I've got a question that I wrote down for you.
No, let me finish. Before you go
on, bro.
Because we might go to a different. But now we've gone to oversharing. Now pastors are talking about, last week, ladies in church were harassing me, this, that, and the third, and did it because they're on a podcast. Now we've got men of God on a podcast going, my wife isn't attractive, but we just have to love them through. What are you talking about? See what I'm saying?
I have to give you kudos. You've never talked bad about your wife.
God forbid. God forbid.
It actually
God forbid.
Hey guys, you've never done that.
God forbid.
Bro, that guy is going to see this pod. He's going to clip us, man.
That pendulum thing that you said is good, because I was saying balance is important, right? So in my question to you was going to be, what is a healthy balance of transparency when it comes to being a pastor or just being a leader? Because when there's being honest but not like glamorizing or giving fruit to the wrong thing, do you know what I mean? Like, what is that balance? Because I know that
some pastors are doing humble brags about their
that also exists.
About their 05 booting that they did.
So that's,
Exactly.
Nuts.
Exactly.
Honestly,
Some pastors do
they're
that.
doing that, bro.
I know.
Which is come across like,
100%.
bro, that side has never left.
If
If you try me, that side is still
and
coming
that's
out.
what I'm saying. What's the balance?
So for me, I think the balance, going back to what I was saying before, is like, in terms of, it's prioritizing. When I've got the mic on a Sunday and I'm speaking to the general conversation, congregation, there are certain things that in context to what I'm preaching makes sense to talk about. And there's sometimes I'll be preaching, I'm sure you probably, and I might say, Holy Spirit, should I say this? then I'll say no. I don't know if you've ever noticed.
Yeah, definitely.
Sometimes I'll be like, yeah, it's not worth me saying it. Or I'm thinking, let me throw one cheeky thing in here. And Holy Spirit's like, no, that doesn't make sense. Some context might be having a conversation like this, podcast. I can share certain things, but I'm not talking of stupid things about,
Holy
Spirit.
right now.
Exactly. Because I was gonna say something that, yeah, I was gonna say something, yeah.
Get down.
Don't
Holy Spirit give us a live example.
Exactly. This is a live example where you can come on a pod and throw your wife under the bus and say stupid things that when you look back, you're like, I regret it. Or then it goes online and people now start having conversations and they're like, oh, is this what men of God do? And it misses the whole point of why someone like me came on here. But then in 412 Men or men's group in church, smaller group, safer space, whatever, I can share certain things. I can share this, that, and because the environment is right for me to say certain things. But also, Jesus shows us a level of wisdom. For example, in his final moments, he takes the 12, he says to 9 of them, he says, stay there. Only 3 of you, Peter, James, and John, come with me a bit closer. He says to the 3 of them, guys, pray with me in my final moments. All I'm asking you to do, what happened to the other 9? Were they not his disciples? This is a wisdom that Jesus, in his hardest moments, he didn't call all 12 of them to come and join him in prayer. He chose 3 of them and says, guys, and guess what? In his hardest moments, they all fell asleep. So sometimes people, thank you God for this analogy. Because when people say, oh, we expect transparency, Jesus was sweating blood, man of God. He was sweating,
bro.
And his men were sleeping.
So
he's like, oh, we want transparency. You will use people weaponize that thing against you. And this is not to say that pastors shouldn't be, they should be transparent in the right context, but also know what's beneficial for the audience that you have.
That's where the balance is.
Some pastors, you're meant to speak amongst your peers and people that you're accountable to. Hello, sir, I'm struggling with porn. I'm struggling with that's something that you go to your elders and say, man of God. So for me, my spiritual father is my biological dad, but also a man called Dr. Hugh Osgood is also a spiritual. When I have certain issues, I'm going straight to them. Then I can if it makes sense, I'm going to go to my peers. I'm going to go to people like Pastor I. I'm going to go to people like Rev Tim. These are close brothers who are going to walk with me, but I've got people ahead of me who are helping, giving the main level of support. Then my brothers come alongside of me and support me. They're walking with me because Pops, I'm not able to go to dads every day. Do you get what I'm saying? So there are ways, there are measures that I have to use and be wise. Someone we did an event recently at church and someone was like, oh, AP, how come you don't tell us all your struggles? I said, is that what pastoring is about? I'm meant to tell you all my struggles. No. For me, I'm not meant to tell you all my struggles. Not that I don't struggle, by the way. I'm not that I'm better than everyone, but I'm here to say that there's a wisdom in what I share with you. What is beneficial for your soul and what is not. Because if I share certain things with you, for example, you're struggling with porn, and maybe the man of God you want to be transparent is also struggling with porn. How does what I've just done benefit you? What do you have to say to me?
Everybody's a Jew.
And what do I have to say to you?
We're both struggling.
Everybody's
I will speak from a hypothetical space. Oh, don't do porn. But me, I'm struggling with porn. You're struggling with porn. What are you?
But then
we're just going to.
So then my question is that.
But then isn't that hypocritical?
Yeah, that's
Isn't that hypocritical?
Yeah, because surely should be helping to help each other.
How?
As you're breaking it
I don't
down,
know. I'm just saying.
I think one of the brilliant points you made was making the distinction between the transparency piece and the discipleship piece. That really resonated with me. Because there should still be a space for me to still disciple you. Even if I haven't lived the same experiences.
Exactly.
And I completely agree.
I agree with that.
Now, I'm putting you to the hot seat. Yeah. Come to the stage.
Come to the stage!
HMRC, bro. You were on a podcast. And you said something like, well, not something like, you mentioned that you've never struggled with lust.
My secondary school head teacher was a believer and went to like a sub-denomination of church called Deeper Life.
Oh, yeah.
And Deeper Life are very rigid, very...
black and white,
traditional, conservative. So my head teacher was from that space. He used to talk a lot about eternity. Jesus is coming soon. what's going to happen if Jesus comes now? Where will you go? And there was one day where he was like, you can't go to heaven on the basis of your parents' walk with Jesus. And that day, yeah, it was like my heart was just cut into many pieces, because I'd lived my life thinking I'm going to heaven because of how good my parents were. Now he said that, it changed my life, and that day I gave my life to the Lord, and from that day it was a big journey. When I first got saved, like, I was very rigid in my faith. Like, I was very zealous for the Lord, but I was very like, no, this is it. Like, before you could just talk and mess around with girls or whatever, now we approach women with a lot of respect. He used to say, if you want to deal with lust after school, there used to be a girls' secondary school close by, and he was like, if you look and you know you're gonna lust, he was like, walk the other way, walk in a different direction, close your eyes, and I used to do all of those different stuff. So and people laugh at it, but the funniest thing is, I then, from the point of getting saved, I then didn't struggle with those things. I didn't struggle with lust. I didn't struggle with porn. I didn't struggle with sleeping around or just falling into a trap. Like, I was very rigid. There were certain disciplines that he taught me about in terms of discipleship. And now, fast forward, like, I'm looking at this generation of life and doing church and all of that, and I'm like, you know what? There's certain things that kept me on the straight and narrow that I feel like we're just very flexible with now.
100%.
And I'm not saying like go into legalism and all of these funny things, but I'm just like, I feel like we're so airy-fairy. There's a way that people can stay on the straight and narrow.
Yeah.
I said,
Straight.
I think I know what you're talking about. When I first got saved, there are things that I didn't struggle with that my friends struggled with. So I used the example of porn, and maybe I said lust, but genuinely, those were things that I wasn't struggling with.
Right, okay.
Have I? Never in my life, absolutely not.
Okay.
Never in my life, no.
Yeah,
I think you misheard.
Okay.
But I was saying, when I first got saved,
He didn't say never in his life story.
no, when I first got
Because he talked
saved,
about-
genuinely, I did not struggle with lust, and I've never watched porn. So when people say, I've watched porn, and what's your view on it? X, man of God. I can talk about purity, sexual purity, X, Y, and Z, but if you want me to connect on that level, I can't speak to you on that.
I'm sorry.
Like, do you get what I'm saying? So that's why
you clarified it, though.
You clarified
You
it.
put me to the hot seat.
I didn't know, because from what I remember,
Okay.
it sounded like, from my memory, I think I need to go watch it again.
Yeah, sure.
But from my memory, it sounded like you said you never struggled with lust. And for me, that just seems so bewildering.
Right, okay.
Right?
Okay.
Because I was like, because it puts you in two categories.
Right.
It puts you in one category where it's just like, this nigga's a superhero, right?
Yeah, bro. Literally.
What kind of anointing was he born with that you could just see a bit like, and just keep it pushing?
The God-given urge that you just put inside you.
Hey man, I'm gonna conquer.
Don't
do that.
He's also like, I want you in with bro. He knows me too.
But I think it's a thing of, because you said it a couple times now.
Yeah.
And I think something that's missing from the conversation is the fact that we don't all have to struggle with lust.
No. I'm still driving at a point. I'm not saying we all have to.
Yeah.
Which is why I said
No, because when you said, I find it bewildering.
No, it's because you're saying like...
The reason I say I find it bewildering is because I feel like a high percentage of,
Right.
I don't know every man in the world, but I ain't never met a man who hasn't, in some capacity.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be major, it doesn't have to be
Yeah.
something that overrules your life, but
Yeah.
at some point
Yeah.
struggled with
Right.
lust. I've
Right.
never met one.
Okay,
Do you know what I'm saying?
fair
So
enough,
that's
fair
why I
enough.
said it was bewildering to me,
Right,
because
fair enough,
I'd never met someone unequivocally come out
Right,
with such a bold statement.
Right.
But you've even
Wow.
caveated
But
the
you
statement.
caveat it.
Yeah.
So for
Because
me, it's
people-
like, either this guy is just, bro, he had it. He had the blueprint from the get-go, and yeah, you know what? Kudos to you. Or you're lying. It's one of the two.
Yeah.
And for me now, it's like, again, it goes back to the transparency piece. It's like, I need to see a bit of like
Vulnerability.
and as you were talking, you do a really good job of explaining stuff and breaking things down, by the way, and it makes more sense. I'm not the type of person when I'm talking about transparency. I think some people just want the dirt
Right.
on their pastor.
Yeah,
Like,
right,
oh,
right.
they want an avenue to humanize you.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and for me, that's not what it is.
Right.
However, I do want you to speak to me about a challenge that I'm coming to you with from a place of empathy.
Yeah. Yeah.
From a place in which you relate.
Not
Yeah.
So
condescending.
going back to the video that I saw that I thought you talked about,
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
never struggled with lust.
Yeah.
If I was in a position where I'm struggling with lust, I wouldn't come and talk
Come
to you.
to talk to me.
Because
You're
I'm
right,
just like,
right.
this is a
Yeah,
super
yeah,
nigga,
yeah,
boy.
yeah,
He-
right,
he's
right,
never
right,
struggled with lust in it.
right,
right.
What are you gonna
What's he gonna tell me?
Bro,
Michael, don't do that.
it's the truth.
Shut up, man. You don't know how it feels.
Yeah.
You don't know how it feels.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you get what I'm saying? So
I
for
get
me,
it,
the
yeah.
transparency piece
I
is
hear
like,
that.
I don't want to know the dirt that you did.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
just want to know the advice that you're saying comes from a place of like, you can relate to my pain and my
Right.
brokenness
Yeah.
in this moment.
Yeah. 100%.
And if I'm coming to you about something I'm struggling with, that's me coming to you, one, because I trust you, and
Yeah.
two, I'm being the most vulnerable I can.
Yeah.
Now, that conversation is a lot easier if I know there's some level of relatability.
Right.
You don't have to have the same shared
Yeah.
lived experience,
Yeah.
but I need to know that's like, you know the pain of this brokenness.
Yeah.
And that allows me to be like, I know this, you're not giving me an out-of-the-box textbook answer.
Yeah.
Like, there was a time, I tried therapy, right? I don't think the guy knew that I'm a psychology graduate.
Right.
Right? And a lot of and a lot of
I would hate for Michael to be my patient, man.
and a lot of
I say, lock him up, lock him
no,
up.
genuinely. And to be fair, maybe to an extent it was my fault because initially, like, the guy was a middle-aged white man and it's not really relatable, but let me not judge him based on that. He might actually be good.
Yeah.
And like a lot of stuff that I was telling him about my lived experiences, about work and stuff, like the responses he was giving me was like, bro, I know you got this out of a textbook. You know why? Because I'm a psychologist. I know I did a module on therapy. I know
the right answers.
I know how to sit down
I know the right
and
answers.
talk to you and be like, okay, so tell me more about that. I'm just like, this just feels. It feels like you say this exact same thing to a white man or an Indian man that comes to you and talks about this. I'm just like,
there's no real relatability.
Exactly. Right. So that's why I'm quite passionate about this therapy thing, because it's like, especially in the house of God, especially to someone who's my pastor, who's like my spiritual leader, I wouldn't want a cookie cutter out of the box response to me bearing my soul and you just be like, hey, God will provide. What do you mean God will provide? You've never been poor. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the relatability I'm talking about.
Yeah. But you know what? I think the irony of that is my general experience from pre-ministry, from first getting saved all the way up to now, is the way I live my life. That's what invites people to feel safe enough to come to me. I've never been through divorce. I get loads of DMs from divorced people going, or I'm on the verge of divorce, or I've gone through divorce, but I need some advice on X, Y, and Z, just because of what I speak about and how I speak about things. And you know what? I feel like people, if I'm being very honest, I feel like there's so many good leaders, so many good church leaders, and cultural conversations cut over and miss that on the ground, there are loads of good church leaders who will sit down, disciple, walk through things with you. But because agenda and narratives have to fly, we have conversations like this, not knowing that there are loads of pastors that
on
do
the ground
exactly
doing the work.
what you may feel is not there. There are loads. A lot of my peers are doing this. They're not coming from this. Like, it's different where the man of God that led me to the Lord, Deeper Life, my head teacher, my secondary school head teacher at the time, Shakes knows. Deeper Life. Deeper Life is a different ball game.
I know about Deeper Life.
Men sit on this side, women sit on this side. Women wear skirts. You're not meant to be talking to men. Blah, blah. So what I came into the faith with was very black and white, right?
Very fundamental.
Very fundamentalist, right? But the thing is that from there is, for me, don't throw the baby out with the bath water. There's loads of things that I learned that at this point in life, I can look back and go, thank God for that man of God. Because there was some crazy stuff that I just thought, it's very outlandish. But there's a lot of good stuff that he helped me with that have helped in my ministry journey. in that space, you wouldn't maybe feel comfortable speaking to someone deep because they're always talking about
No,
holiness,
you won't be
righteousness,
able to.
purity.
You won't be able to.
Do you get what I'm saying? You
can't.
wouldn't be able to.
I went to the church. You can't do
But I've recognized that what holiness and purity looks like and the journey there is a possibility. I don't want you to hang in the place that you're at going, I don't think this is possible. No, I highlight to people what you think is impossible or it's not proper. You don't have to be a man of God. Men of God, you don't have to be a man of God to live an upright life. But I think sometimes we have these conversations at this level, not seeing or not having people that are at that level going, come up here. Sometimes, and this is what I want to say about transparency. Sometimes leaders have to come down here to our level. And sometimes leaders have to go, come up. Jesus says to Simon Peter, Jesus is a tradesman, by the way. I know, obviously, carpenter, but if you actually study, he was actually a tradesman, so he was very good with a lot of things, right?
Handy.
He said to, has anyone deeped the fact that he said to Simon Peter, come follow me, I will make you a fisher of men. He's a tradesman. He's telling someone whose business and livelihood is fish. I will make you a fisher of men. It's not, once again, let's go back to transparency. Jesus has never done fishing before. In fact, Jesus said to someone, push your boat out into the water. Go and do it's you that will do this thing. Jesus doesn't, yes, he's Lord, yes, he's God. I know some people will be a bit pedantic with all of that. But Jesus says to him, I will help make you fisher of men. I don't need to go through what you've gone through. But sometimes I also need to remind you that there's a level that you're operating at.
I can take you.
Follow me, and I can make your life really valuable.
And that's where
does that make sense?
Makes sense.
So sometimes people are going transparency, yes, but there's also a time when, as a leader, you will not maximize your potential if I'm always babying you, which is what we know in our culture as Yoruba people, as African people. If we're always babying our children, how will they learn discipline? How will they learn how to uphold certain cultures? How will they do well in school? We're seeing that they're saying outside, white boys are struggling in the school system. So what's happening with black boys? It's not that they're being failed by the system, it's that culturally, their parents are after school, you will go and get your CGP book, you will go to the library and read. What do you mean that you're not going to school?
And you will do your
11 plus, you will do all of
that.
Because we've recognized if we leave the system to groom you, the
you'll be a
system
failure.
will fail you. So now, from the little that we know, come up higher.
And for me,
Does that make sense?
Perfect.
Because I think sometimes we hang at that related. If they don't come, sometimes
Come up.
But good leaders know how to balance the two in a sense of I know when I need to. When I'm doing outreach and I'm realizing, okay, this is a broken man. You were talking about brokenness. So I can see you're broken. I can see you need help, and I need to come and speak to that. And there are times where it's like you've been in church, but you are choosing not to change. You are choosing not to grow. You are choosing to stay the same. You want to be wayward. That's fine. You get what I'm saying?
You want to be stupid, right?
Exactly. Oh shit.
That was the balance that I was trying to get at, in the sense where, like, for me, I agree.
Right.
You can't say you want to be on the journey and not want to get better, not want to grow, not want to change, not want to. Do you know what I mean? So finding and striking that balance is very important. And I think what you said about Jesus, that discipleship piece. For me, I think more than anything, that is what I think it goes down to, realistically, right? Like you said, I don't really think it does even matter if the person that you're relating with has actually been through everything you've been through. I don't think that necessarily matters, right? But what does matter is what I think what he said as well, is that being able to still relate. Just because you haven't been through it doesn't mean you can't understand.
Empathy. He used the word empathy.
I think what it is doesn't mean you don't understand what it means to overcome sin.
Right.
You might not deal with the same sin that I'm dealing with, but don't treat me like I'm
never
dealing with,
sinned.
do you know what I mean?
But don't you feel, listening to what you're saying, right? Do you not feel like, I feel like if you take a step back, you're speaking about a different generation?
No, and that's what
So you see a lot of leaders now currently that are exemplifying that.
The reason I say,
I think I still feel that.
let me explain to you.
Interesting.
With
Millennial leaders.
Hold on.
Well, I don't know what you would class as a
Millennial is up to, what's it, 40 something?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
If it was like 40s,
Let me explain that point.
Yeah,
I think the older generation, they did it from a position of, it had cultural influence, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
even taking it out of the church, I'm older than you, you're younger
Yeah.
than me. You do as I say,
Say,
not
yeah,
as I do.
yeah, yeah.
And also there's an element of I'm older, I can't let you see my transgressions.
Yeah. But also you can't question me as well.
Also, you can't question me, so it's just like, just do as I say.
Yeah.
I think in today's generation, especially with the influence of social media, a lot of ministry is packaging.
Right, okay.
I need you to perceive me a certain way in order for me to push this message.
Okay.
So that puts a blocker in place where we're not having real conversations, because when we have real conversations, I need to strip the facade.
Exactly.
Right, okay.
So if I now strip the facade, it's like a house of cards, right?
Alright.
It all falls down.
Yeah.
So I need to hold this moral high ground that you see me as having done things right. So you see me as like, rah, he's that shining light. But you weren't always that shining light. And you might not even still be that shining light because it's packaging.
Right. Okay.
Because you're trying to push this message and this agenda of the goodness of God in your life, quote unquote, but it's a facade.
Okay, so I want to ask you a question. How do you, because I hear what you're saying, but once again, I feel like where there's a few ideas being conflated into this.
Okay.
How do you distinguish when someone is genuinely walking with the Lord? This is their way of life. They are not projecting a lifestyle of purity. This is the way that they live. They're not, I feel like sometimes the gap is maybe what we've experienced and what we've seen. We're now saying
when it looks like
this
it.
is what, because I hear you on the point of packaging and branding, but how do we distinguish? No, this is what an upstanding man of God or woman of God should actually be or look like. Does that make sense?
Wait, Ivan, please.
It's about discipleship and actually being able to be a disciple. Because that's where I was going with it.
Okay,
I didn't want it to end here. Because it answers that question that you just asked in a sense where, for me, I think the transparency piece is one piece of it, but that discipleship piece is what I think is very important in terms of being able to walk with that person. Just because you're going through sin doesn't mean I'm not going to help you on the journey. Just because doesn't mean I'm not going to try and relate. And I think it's not about staying the same, and it's not saying high five, we both sin. No, it's about being able to say, cool, share with me still. I will give you the words that you need. I will give you the encouragement. I will give you the... That is what I'm talking, and I feel like that's not something that is always encouraged, because again, people are too scared to have that hard conversation of, oh, right, I've been through this. Right,
but also, one thing I don't think you've taken into consideration is there's a gap between what you're describing and actually there's a gap. I'll explain the gap. How do you get into the realm of discipleship without coming
going
to
to
person?
church? Yeah.
If you don't go to church,
building a bond.
How do you build a relationship?
I'm not even talking about those that are outside the church. I'm talking about people that go to the church, are inside the church.
Even that
begs a different question. That means that if you're in that church and you can't see that, there's a discipleship issue then. That means the language, the culture around discipleship, there's a clear failing in that sense. To the point that you were, oh my goodness, you said something that I wanted to address. Oh man.
It was about discipleship and
shining light. How do you define, how do you actually know a man of God who's genuinely walking with God compared to one who is a facade?
Right. So it goes back to this point of proximity. You're saying branding and packaging. How are you going to get a level of proximity if we're living in a digital age? The first introduction into a church for most people is social media. People are not, yes, people do. People walk to the local church and whatever, but most people are being introduced into to a church or a ministry or a personality through social media. If all the questions or the presumption and the this, that, and the third you have in your mind, which might come from a genuine place, all those things are the gap between being here and actually finding yourself maybe in a local church or finding someone who can walk with you. If you perceive a lot of people that you see out there as, this one are branding and packaging, this one is they're high and mighty, this one they come across a bit proud. At what point do you go, I need to be trusting enough to maybe go to the church down the road? Maybe that's going to be my start. And see what this reality, see if this is a norm, or maybe this is based on what I've experienced or seen or heard of, this is my projection into the narrative. Not saying that this is you, but I'm saying I feel like a lot of people have their issues and challenges with church. A lot of them are genuine, But a lot of people stay at the point of, these are my views and this, that, and the third. The majority, people are going around with the night, pastors are stealing money. The average pastor has a 9 to 5. The average pastor doesn't pastor a mega church. But the overarching narrative is pastors are stealing from. So people don't want to engage because the overarching narrative is pastors steal from the church accounts. You can do it yourself. You can go on Charity Commission. Go and look at what a lot of churches bring in. A lot of
churches are in the red.
Do you get what I'm saying? But because of what I've experienced and this, that, and the third, that puts the gap in between you and what needs to be. So,
I'll give an example, right? And the example I was going to give, this one is even relatable.
Right.
You make a perfect point in what you're saying. We went to the same uni.
Yeah.
Right? That's when you actually got to know each other a bit better. Fellowship on Fridays, Kairos.
Yeah, Kairos, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There was a supposed leader.
Yeah.
Right? In Kairos. And on the face of it, they were pushing the good word.
But you knew that.
Behind closed doors, there was a girl. I studied psychology. It was like
just girls.
Let's say 180 students, maybe 30, 40 boys.
Wow.
There was bare girls.
Yeah.
Like all my study partners was girls. There was a girl that lived in a block next to me. Yeah, I lived in Chepstow. You know where Chepstow is? Right opposite it is Faraday.
Yeah,
Man remembers the name.
The Brunellas know where I was.
It's tattooed.
It's Staircase H, bro. I know where I was. Yeah. There was a so-called leader who was trying to press one of my course mates.
Right.
You know how I knew? Because we're kicking it after lecture. Like, what you doing now? I'm like, I'm
going church.
I'm gonna go fellowship.
We do that church.
Like, fellowship? I was like, yeah. She told me the guy's name that's in the fellowship. Told me the guy was trying to press her. Now, for me, how do I now come and listen to that man tell me about his position on lust, sexual immorality, stuff like that? And again, and this is the beautiful thing about me, right? I don't judge. I don't judge none of my friends and all that stuff. The only issue I ever have with anyone is hypocrite.
Right.
Hypocrisy.
Hypocrisy. You live long. Do you know what I mean? Regardless of who you are, you could be my pastor, whatever. Like, because I understand that this life thing is hard.
Complex,
bro. You know what I'm saying? And especially, like, I'm very empathetic to the plight of a man. Like,
Yeah.
the older I grow,
Yeah.
the more I understand, this man thing is
it's
not
tough,
easy,
yeah.
fam.
Yeah.
And I'll never laugh at another man's downfall.
Yeah.
Man.
I'll never do that.
Yeah.
Even if, like, let's say you put like your relationship online or whatever you do, you're online, and you do something contradictory. Hey, you effed up, man. You own it, whatever. What's the redemption story?
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? I'll never laugh at another man tripping because it could be me. I always see myself when I make a mistake. That could be me.
Yeah.
But my thing is this: the hypocrisy is just crazy. You're speaking from this moral high ground. You're doing the same dirt.
Yeah.
If you spoke from a position where it's just like, yo, I understand how hard this thing is that you're dealing with. And I'll be honest, I wasn't a consistent Kairos attendee like that.
Yeah.
And that was one of the reasons why.
Yeah.
And if I'm even being honest, it took me a while for me to even rate you properly. Like now, I rate your take as a pastor because for the period of time I've known you, you've been very consistent with like your positioning. And in as much as I might not agree with everything you say, your principles have been consistent since I've ever known you, right?
Yeah.
And I rate it, but partly there was a lot of people in Kairos who was just like, nah, man, you man are just trying to do you know some people go through that uni phase of man fought for God, and like 2 years later you're back on it. Shut up, man. Move, bro. What we doing?
Okay, but how do you press on from that? Though?
That's the thing that I want to
But then
say.
that's the question I'm now saying in terms of when I've had lived experiences like that. There's others as well.
Yeah.
It's like for me, it's just like it leaves a bit.
These people keep letting me down.
But it's just like so. Mine is not this. There's some similarities there. Like I said, one of the main reasons I didn't want to get into ministry was because of how the people treated my parents. These are so-called believers. People get upset, and I don't often like talking about this as a leader because sometimes people will be like, as a leader is deflecting. But Christians at large, I say it silently often, I said Christians can be very mad people. I
Agreed.
watch people do wicked stuff to my parents. They're not leaders, they're just church civilians. And these are believers of Jesus Christ, right? So I think the thing is, I grew up going, you know what? I don't want to lead people. If this is what Christians are going to do to their leaders, I don't want that.
Yeah.
But for me, as you grow up, you realize they are not the representation. They are not of the global church, of the local church. You, as believers, one of the first things we have to bring you into the consciousness of is that if the Holy Ghost lives on the inside of you, the Holy Ghost can direct you to a good local church. And guess what? The Holy Spirit directs people to good local churches. And you have to separate that. In uni, we see it. A lot of people come, they're zealous, they're da-da-da. We saw a lot of that. We had hard conversations. You may not have seen it, but we were having hard conversations with stories that we had heard about certain people doing those kind of things. Some of them had to be dropped. Then they would decamp and go to another Christian society or whatever and become leader there. So when we did find out, we were actively challenging it because for me, accountability is a big thing. But integrity in leadership is also a big thing. But I say all of that to say that sometimes what you're describing speaks to the journey that people need to go on. You are going on the journey. This is where grace comes in. I like that you say. I don't laugh at another man's downfall, right? But I'm very sure in life you've had your own downfalls.
Yeah, but
you understand. You understand what a downfall looks like.
No, I fully get it, but
Does that make sense? But wait,
Michael knows exactly. He's going somewhere.
because
And I know where he's going.
downfall,
smell it, fam.
you now have
where he's
language
going.
for what it means to be there and come up there.
Yeah.
Why now is your argument, I have seen this person do X, Y, and Z. That is where my apprehensions are going to cast the main shadow over why I'm not going to join the ministry. You understand it. That's why you're offering grace, because you have been there. Now, I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, because it's a separate conversation. People that use leadership and do wrong things in the name of Jesus Christ and are just completely, in my opinion, I think there's a grounds to say that some of them are not even believers of Jesus Christ at all. But when you recognize certain things, once again, do you do the broad stroke and go, everyone is like this? Or do you go, you know what? For me, you know what? A lot of people kind of say what you say, I was watching you from a distance. Me, I'm not too worried about what people think about me. Because one thing I know for sure is that if anyone says something about my life, it's always about the consistency. That's why I'm not worried about what people say. I meet people that were like, you came across as holier than thou. But they were watching me. They've been watching me for years. I've had people, there was a guy, I've had a couple of instances, but there was one that sticks out for me. There was a men's event maybe like 3 years ago. And this guy was like, you were connected to someone that had fallen and was doing some crafty stuff. And I was watching you for the last 3 years on social media. I was watching your church live streams. I was asking people that know about you, of you.
Oh, wow.
I said, today I've come because your integrity speaks for itself.
Yeah.
I was shocked. The guy was telling me, he was like, yeah, I watched your sermon 3 weeks ago. This is what you were showing me things. He was showing me the people that he reached out to. For me, that's why I don't worry. Me, I know that whoever feels far, my responsibility is to call them to come. I have man them that are still in prison now. And I'm thinking going, how can I make myself accessible to them? Well, just a couple weeks ago, he got recalled, he came back out. I said, bros, what's going on? He said, I said, bros, let's meet up. I live my raps. I may not come on the internet, and this is where we have to, if you see social media and you create a narrative, what about the things you don't see?
I think that discipleship
Does that make sense?
But
this is how it comes into it. When you have leaders that are committed to walking with people, and this is where I'm saying, don't miss the fact that in a lot of
people are there on the ground.
In a lot of local churches, people have leaders that are walking with them.
I've got two
People
questions.
have-
I've
yeah,
got
go
two
for it.
key questions for
Yeah.
you. The first one is, as churches continue to grow, how do you keep that discipleship ethos? This is
It's a good question.
This is a question that obviously even in our church,
the distance grows.
even our church is something, because our church is really growing, and it's something I always keep in mind is that, and I led prayers a few weeks ago, and it's something I prayed about, that the essence in our church cannot be lost, because there's an essence of people come in and they develop and become better in their faith and
You look
strong.
after one another.
Someone comes in, you almost like you cover them and then they grow and they join you in covering people. So it's like, so what's your views on that? happen in a mega church
That's a great
I think that's where a lot of these issues stem from. I should say.
100%.
Like it's not always like local 40, 50 churches.
Yeah. It's
like
people.
It's
It's when you start getting to
500.
100,
That's where
200.
the gap that you speak of.
When you
is happening
start,
because there's no way to.
I
actually
promise
get
you,
to my man.
I promise you, it's one of the scariest things, and it's so sad because I see people who go to some of the biggest churches in London, and like they aren't protected, they aren't supported, they are alone.
Yeah.
Things are happening in the church where leaders doing their mad things. There's no accountability. There's no support. The person is just left to their own devices. The second piece was around how do we get men in the front door? Because for me, it's
Good
like
question.
is this is the bit I can see the disconnection is like, how can I explain it? You have people who are watching on social media and like there's a gap, but the answer is behind the door.
Yeah.
Because once you get through the door and you meet someone, you might be able to get hooked in. But it's like, how do you get? Because I think
that first stage?
because for me, I'll be honest, bro. If me and you didn't lock it in since I was 4 or 5 years old, would I be at CW? Maybe not. I probably might just be sitting at home. Is that will probably be on my head. Be like, yo, Shegs, like, what's going on here? Like, if I didn't have a friend like Iz to be like Shegs, like, come to church. How would I? Because I'm like you. When I see people who are going through a lot, I always think I'm lucky because I've been paired up with people who have kind of dragged me back into the faith. I've been lucky. So if I didn't have this person, where would I be? I've maybe been or somewhere different. So it's like, how do we talk to those men and how do we get them in the front door so they can meet the discipleship that lays behind the door?
You know, I'll start with the second question. You know, the irony of that question is you've already answered it. I don't know if I tagged you in something the other day about.
Yeah, you did.
We're gonna have to grip Smandem, and we're going. My view on
that same
discipleship
church, right?
is we're gonna have to stop relying on the Sunday pulpit ministry to get men in.
That's a fact.
That's my personal view.
That's a fact.
Now we're going to have to do the community work.
Yeah.
We're gonna do we're gonna do the 412. We're gonna do. Shegs is gonna open up his house, and maybe this might even be a prophetic thing. Open up your house. I've already said about it.
You said it already. You've been saying it.
Open up your house and you invite the man in through, and we'll do a Bible study. We'll have conversation. We'll have this topic. We'll do it, and we'll talk about it. We'll chop it up. Read the Word of God. We'll pray for one another. We'll hold space for everyone, and we'll do it. That's on a local level. This is Saturday morning. We're going to do 7 aside. We'll do 11 aside. That's why a lot of churches that are actually doing well. That there's in Leytonstone. There's a church league. I don't know if you guys have heard about it. Quite a few churches do it on not in Leyton, not Leytonstone. No, Wanstead Park.
Okay.
Saturdays, churches, and a lot of them are having an influx of men.
Just coming to
maybe they
bang
were on the
door.
roads,
from
ends, from the local community. Come through, come and play. You're playing every week. You're hearing men that are like, oh, you know what? You're vexed, this, that, and the first. Calm yourself down. Let me pray for you. And you build a relationship. You start to connect. And that's your way in. It's not that we're trying to fill the seats. It's that we need to build brotherhood again. So that is why. Look,
this is where I wanted this conversation to go.
A lot of my ministry to men has been most effective through 412 Men, through podcasts, and through social media.
The more indirect.
The indirect stuff. People come to CW going, I saw you on a podcast. Wait, that because it's part of our church protocol when people come, ask them how they found out. Yeah, we saw AP. We saw him on the 412 Men thing. We saw him. People are coming to, not because they saw me preach at another church. Some people do, but most people are seeing through the podcast, through my social media content, through 412 Men, through sit-down conversations, through maybe I was at an event that's not church-related, but I was speaking to men or whatever. That's how people are coming in. Afterwards, I'm having conversations with these men that we're saying we're trying to speak to. That is how we're going to get them. Then we bring them into church. Sunday part is fine. Bible study, cool. Prayer meeting, cool. Men's meeting is a must. But we can only get them into the church men's meeting when we start doing the stuff outside. The biggest hindrance to that is a lot of men. The manhood issue at large is because a lot of men don't want to take ownership for the thing. Let's forget church for a second. One of the reasons why we're struggling with accountability is because in our own spaces, we're lazy. We would rather have the fun conversations, talk brazy, talk mad, laugh, kiki, and go home. No one wants to do it because if I pull you up on something, You're gonna now go.
It's gonna get.
So you think
sexy.
you're high and mighty? Where did you get that from? It's because in our friendship circle, we've never developed a structure or a community where we can challenge each other healthily. That's why I love what you do. I heard you said you're a black sheep or whatever. It's good what you're doing. It's good what you're doing. It's good. But at the same time,
I'm transparent.
Look, it's good to be transparent. And you know what? You know the irony. You see people like you. This is not even. I'm not typecasting and saying that you're a bad person or whatever. People like you, I like the most. Say, I'm strong. I have strong beliefs, whatever. You've not met me then.
Yeah.
Have you had a conversation with me before? We will not leave this place. You think you're strong in your view.
We've had conversations.
Yeah, we've had conversations.
So you're stubborn.
But we can get there.
That's why I like people like you. That's why I like people like you. When I was doing work in Feltham, I didn't say put me on the east. I said to the Govs, put me on the flamest wings. Give me the man them that you're saying they're cooked, they're tapped, nothing can come. Those are the boys that I want. Those are the young men that I want. That's my energy. Because if we're gonna play it safe, for me is I don't want to die and people will say, oh, you know, he did all right. And they remember all the safe stuff.
He didn't tackle the tough stuff.
No.
He ghosted.
He ghosted.
He didn't fulfill his
did
truth.
just enough.
He didn't push himself.
No.
He pushed himself.
No. The stuff that I'm saying, I know that there's certain things I'm gonna say that's gonna get me cooked, but I don't care because if that's gonna get me the DM going, bros, you know what? The thing that you said about that pregnancy thing, I wish. I was hoping that someone was going to tell me something like that. Do you know the amount of men that post up from last week where guys were like, you know what? I would never come out to say this, but thank you so much for saying it because I was wondering if I was doing something wrong and I learnt from you.
Man, them felt seen.
Do you understand?
Yeah,
so for me, whether people don't like me or not, this, that, and the third, for me, I am putting it all on the line because I want to see the narrative shift. That, as I said before, it's not, apart from Jesus, the only way for salvation, it's not one way that we will all get to the same place. If we want to achieve healthy brotherhood, healthy masculinity, it's not just my way. There are many ways. Me, I'm a big student on civil rights. Martin Luther King was a pacifist. Malcolm X believed in using useful force.
Smoke.
He built. Once they used to be friends, but then they had fractions. But it was around the topic of pacifism. Martin Luther King, let's achieve it non-violence. But the point is that they were striving towards the same direction. Let people see black people, people of color, people of smaller marginalized groups. Let them see them for who they are. But different ways to achieve the same thing. And at some point, Martin Luther King had to go, you know what? We have to agree to disagree, but I still love you. Keep going on your way. Do you understand? So for me, this topic of masculinity, manhood, even discipleship and church is not my way that works or whatever. But I strongly believe anyway, we have to decamp from relying on one man of God. Now it's Sheds, you open your house. This is why I've been training you. You know the thing about what you were saying about me and is being those kind of people in your life that will always. Do you know that is an act of God's grace? Now, if one day you stand before God, God is going to remind you that when you were in your wayward ways, there were people who called you. Now you're in a position of privilege. What have you done with your privilege? I'll give you another example. Me, I grew up with my pops. I did a post about it early this year. Most people that I speak to about their pops wasn't around, or their pops was around, but they had a bad relationship with them. In my life, 95% of the people, friends, people that I've grown up around, have been in that category. Only 5% have been in the category of good relationship with pops. I realized when I started to hit my 20s, I started to realize I was struggling to talk about the positive things that my pops had done because everyone else had a bad story.
It's hard.
So it made this, and it kind of goes to something you were saying earlier. If everyone is saying dad has left, men are bad, men are trash, dads are doing, you that has had good experience, you now mute yourself. This is, the culture is helping silence the good voices. Now when people are saying, oh, we're struggling to see good marriages, the reason why people don't want to come and talk about their marriage online,
because when they talk about it, they get flogged.
Because why? Because you think that your view of marriage is right. Most of you that are not married, why do you have so much to say about marriage? Most of the marriage coaches are not married. Most of relationship coaches are not in sound relationships. but you have the most to say. But these are the people that are shaping people's perspectives about these topics. So when people that come that have healthy language for it, I'm saying, she's too submissive. Oh, he's too controlling. He's too manipulative. That's why these people don't come out. So now when I'm talking faith, manhood, masculine, people are projecting. People, guess what? People want my downfall. I know there are people that are waiting for a day that someone will come out and say that I cheated on my wife. I can promise you for free. People are waiting to hear why, because they've seen men of God in London, men of God in this place and that place. Holy Ghost, thank you, because I was going to say some other things. I see men of God here and there. The
Holy Ghost has it on ropes.
Holy Ghost pricked you
I was about to do some specific. Thank you, exactly. Just, do you get what I'm saying?
Hold your lips.
That's what discipleship looks like.
Yeah.
Because just because people know me as authentic, I still have to be wise.
I appreciate it,
I'm not
bro.
gonna come
Honestly,
on the
I
podcast
do.
and be doing because
I appreciate it, man.
this is not for trend. I need to live my raps. Do you get what I'm saying? But I'm saying all of that to say that just because all of those people have done wrong and you've seen scandal after scandal after scandal, it doesn't mean that we have to be like them. When you see people like us, it's just like I would like to believe that you're good, but there's a strong part of me that feels like there's something sus about you. And granted, trauma, this, that, and the third, there's a space for that. But there's a point when you have to go, I have to do the healing work.
Yeah, man.
Same with Mandem. A lot of Mandem, pride, ego. When they hear stuff like what I'm saying, a lot of them will say, that we were talking about it earlier, I think it was off cam. Say, pandering, this, that, and the third. They'll be talking about me. Anyway, God help. They'll be talking about me. These are men that when I see them face to face, yo, bro, what's good? We'll chop it up, keep it real. There's nothing about me that's trying to give facade. But these men won't say it to my face. But they will go to their groups and say, man, it's pandering. Even if you disagree with me.
Come tell me.
Come and speak to me, let's reason.
Yeah, bro, look me in my eye.
But we don't do that anymore because it's if someone says something, it's
a
now
bravado thing.
do you now think you're taking a moral high ground?
Yeah,
based
so
on
it
what?
gets into
Based
passion.
on what?
Yeah,
so we can't have
bravado.
fruitful
The pride and
conversation
ego of men.
because we're projecting
bravado.
things, and that's why look at it now. That's why we have guys that are meant to be our big bros. They're doing podcasts. They're talking about the ends. They're talking about how they want to slap up each other. So what good reference point do we have? One second, I'm not going to say any names, but you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Say no more.
Our oldest men, mid-40s, going to their 50s, they're talking about this time, and you're thinking, you guys have the platform. You can be doing something really sensible. You have the audience. You can be doing something, but you're talking about how someone violated you and you want to slap them up. You have children. Some of you have grandkids, and that's what we use. So I'm looking at you guys going, if you guys aren't going to do it, I'm absolutely going to do it then.
I hear it.
And so until when you're tired of casting your projections towards me and you're ready to have sit-down conversation, I will be there. You invite me on your podcast, you invite me to your gaff, I will sit down, we will reason, we will chop it up. Even if you don't agree with everything, at least we spoke about it. A lot of men don't want to do it. A lot of men, 412 men, a lot of men don't come to 412 men because they look and they see and they, but then they speak to their guys and their guys are like, bro, like, you've never come. Come. See it for yourself. Most weeks, when I'm speaking to new guys that come, I'm like, how did you find it? They will say, I thought it was this, but I came and I realized it was something different. I thought I was coming into a volatile space, but I realized this was safe. I felt open enough to... Man, them are sharing crazy stuff. I said earlier, people share stuff you would not expect a first-timer to come and share with you. But we've done the work to make the safe space. So for us, God is using some of us as pioneers, and I'm going to do it. If people disagree, fine. That's the life of it. That's what I call the plight of a pioneer. Everyone will, man. Until the day comes. He was ahead of his time. I'm not waiting for that day, but I'm a student of history. I know there comes a point in time when everyone's like, man, we should have listened to him in the first. We should have listened to them.
Like Noah.
They were showing exactly like Noah. Do you get what I'm saying?
My first question. Sorry. The one about discipleship in a bigger church.
In a big church. Okay, I'll do a short and sweet answer. As you know, that's one of the biggest challenges for churches. I don't believe that there is a perfect answer. What I do believe is that there are good things that churches can implement, i.e. leaders like myself investing in raising other leaders that have the same heart, the same passion, carry the same values of the church. So for example, community. You know CW, we're very big on community. We're very much, no soldier gets left behind unless they willingly choose to walk away. No soldier gets left behind. We walk with one another. But in the process of that, people grow. That has to be translated to the next generation of leaders. So that's the process I'm in. That's why we have elders.
Yeah.
And that's why behind closed doors, I'm raising other leaders as well. People that carry the same passion and heart. People that carry the hearts to disciple, walk with people. You may not bear the name Game Changer, but you carry the passion to walk alongside people.
Yeah.
And for me, once again, these are the things, these are the hallmarks of when people, if people ever say good things about me, let it be because of things like that. That I spent my time. That's why bandwidth for me is low, because I'm spending so much of my time. These are the things that we don't go on the internet telling people. This is why our time is consumed in the evening when people are chilling and you guys are watching TV and football and X, Y, and Z. We're on calls from one Zoom to, hey, AP, you know, this is going on in my life. I need this. You're meant to be on lunch break. Someone is calling you. You're meant to be cooking dinner. There are times when I'm cooking dinner and I'm doing a mentorship call. But I don't need to go on the internet to say that because there's nothing, I don't get any hype from that. But I'm saying that to say, I genuinely am doing it, but I don't need to go to the internet. This is where we have to be able to decipher, okay, cool, good leaders. When you know you're in a good space, you know. When your leaders are investing in people as churches grow, so in a mega church context, invest in leaders, invest in people, as Jesus says, make disciples. So as a leader, my responsibility is to make disciples. Once I've made disciples, those disciples are meant to go and make disciples.
Yeah, it's true.
And carry the values. So those are some of the things that will help mega churches. Also, last thing I'll say is there should come a time in your church growth when you should mark a number, and that number if your church grows beyond that number,
Split.
go and start another one.
Branch.
I'm a very firm believer of that.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't believe
I
in
agree.
holding tens of thousands or thousands of people in a building.
I agree.
It should hit a particular number and start a new plant.
Split. Let's go again.
Raise good leaders and make them leaders over that one. I don't believe in holding people. No,
So you
absolutely
can
not.
keep those tenants. basically.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's me.
Michael, you had a question?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a question. Have you?
No, because I was just gonna say, because I think the local church dynamic is a beautiful one.
Yeah.
I think the whole mega church, big audience thing. I think it's
Grassroots level
I think it's a more of a concert than an actual coming together of saints.
Yeah.
If I'm honest,
I
with you.
don't
It's
even
a
think that's what it
spectacle.
was
It's a
intended to be.
spectacle.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't
I'm a
think
bit
that's
more
what it was
graceful
intended to be.
because
Cause when I see Winners Chapel, I'm like, you see what they're building in Natch? Bro, they're building Emirates Stadium, bro.
Have you been to Redemption Camp?
Bro,
that redemption camp is crazy.
bro.
I was looking at someone.
Redemption Camp
someone
is
did a
nuts.
drone
Redeem
cam.
thing is mad.
Someone did a drone cam of redemption camp, and I said, "Wow,
It's nuts, bro.
wow."
It's nuts, bro.
What
More
Pastor
is-
Oyedepo is building there? Yeah, I
G?
said this is Wembley, bro.
No,
When there's
redemption
like,
camp is
when there's
is
camp,
NFL
yeah.
size stadiums like 6'10".
When there's
what
camp,
times?
when,
Yes.
when there's camp, yeah,
Massive.
people plan their journeys around that day.
Yeah.
You just know it's
Gridlock.
gridlock in
Yeah,
Lagos.
100%.
You
Yeah,
can't
that
travel.
You
makes
see
to
like
Lagos.
6 stadiums.
Yes.
Bro, it's nothing, bro.
And I'm not talking about football.
There's
I'm talking about
apartments
NFL.
there.
NFL.
People
Yeah,
live there,
man.
bro.
Yeah,
I saw
literally, people
drone.
live
I
there,
saw
yeah, man.
drone
People
camp.
live there.
I said, "Wow."
Yeah,
But I don't say that wow like in a sense of wow. Why does it need to be that big? As in wow.
No,
Yeah,
it's actually
large.
massive.
You know what I'm saying?
I guess from my question is similar to what my question.
Mike,
is just
hold on
more-
to your point, by the
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry. My question is to wrap it up.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
let's-
My biggest thing was just in relation to like, don't you feel like that creates obviously the discipleship thing, like you said, like creating people and whatever. But then, for example, let's say you have a general overseer of the church, and then the church is like 100,000 people, and you know everybody is coming. Like I don't know, because everybody's coming to that pot. Like for example, at that main conference or whatever, everybody's gonna come and listen. No one can have a personal relationship with him. Do you understand?
No.
So again, in a scenario like that, I don't know if that was what it was intended to be, though. Do you know what I mean?
But also at the same time, I think people's expectations of leaders are culturally driven as well. So, for
Yeah.
example, how is it possible for 100,000 people to know
Exactly,
one man?
yeah,
It's not
yeah,
possible.
yeah.
I think, though, for some African context, Nigerian context more specifically, because leaders were so the man of God, capital T. There was just that towards that person. Everyone has to. You have to have your one-on-one. You have to touch the hem of this person's garment. So it was just focused on that one-man band. Whereas like that's not necessarily the focus of Christianity. Jesus imparted into the 12. The 12 then became
disciples.
hundreds. Then it became thousands. Then it's
Churches.
the early church and stuff like that. So I don't have a vicious I don't have a hatred towards a lot of mega churches. Why? Because a lot of them grew organically. So, for example, like one of the men of God that we've been hearing a lot about in the States is Pastor Phil. Anthony Mitchell.
I like it.
He was pastoring for a long time, but their growth in the last couple of years has been exponential. Now the challenge that they're having is, you've seen, I'm sure you saw some of the clips, people queuing up on Sunday morning, people driving from different states to come and having to be sent back, not because they didn't want people there, but they didn't have the infrastructure for that. That's not because they were like, oh, we wanted to send people away. They
don't have.
We try and prepare for growth, but sometimes how the harvest comes in is exponential. So what do they have to do? That's why they have their online discipleship. They have the online disciples. Even with online discipleship, it's hard because you don't physically know. So there's only so much you can do. But the essence of it is put structures in place that have community forums. Put good leaders over them. Train the leaders as often as you can. Put accountability measures and structures in there. That's why, once again, Holy Spirit is yes.
He says,
he's gonna flog somebody.
I was gonna flog, but I don't like saying names.
No, we hear.
Unless I feel, you know what?
There's just one more point, and I think I say this to, I think I said it to PT, who's AP's wife, a few times. It's just like, I think the church, Christianity in general, it just, there needs to be almost some form of board to have accountability, because a lot of the stories we hear is quite scary at times. And I know it's a concept that is so difficult because we're so fractured, but it's just so sad to see people get hurt by church. Because I come into contact with a few people get hurt by church, and it's just like, raw, like if only that, like even one of our closest friends hurt by church, and it's just like, if only someone was holding this person to account, if only there was a whistleblowing way of someone to say like, look, there is fire in the mountain, there's fire in the mountain, come tell this person that there's no church for the next 2 months, lock it off. Like, sometimes it's like, I know it's hard to do, but I think it's just, what are your views on in terms of what accountability looks like from a church-wide lens that sits above leadership? But I know
from a global church perspective, I think that's not going to be possible until Jesus comes. You have so many denominations, right? And denominations aren't a bad thing per se, as long as doctrinally it aligns with the Word of God. The wider issue or the wider focus should be on a denominational or local church level. What are the accountability structures you put in place?
Your church.
Adhere to that and focus on that. So I want to go to the example that you've spoken about. Yes, there's a work to be done in terms of accountability, but we can't stop and wait to do God's work because that's not happening in another space. You're responsible. Once again, if it's spiritual, it's practical. Now you have the responsibility. You have a responsibility to be the light. You have a responsibility to be the example and witness of Christ. Even if your friend is saying, I don't want to go to church, you be that witness and example. And let them know that, you know what? Based on how you behave and how you conduct yourself and comport yourself, I know that there's good churches out there because I've seen and witnessed through you. That's what I want to put back to you. Because it's the accountability, that one is 5-6 podcast episodes. And I get in trouble with a lot of my takes on that. So that's, but I'm saying for you, I'm putting this on this pod, I'm putting it back to you. You guys have the responsibility to be the witnesses of Christ to that friend. And not even trying to prove. I'm not saying it so you can prove. You guys have the responsibility to be good witnesses so that this friend recognizes, you know what? There are good churches because they're raising good disciples. That's what it is. So,
Micah, wrap us up.
He's deep in thought, fam.
I think it would be a shame before you go if we don't revisit this topic. Which we've discussed on the pod before.
Accountability.
So we'll wrap it up with this one.
I love this one.
Fair enough.
A clip of you from 412 Men, the brotherhood meeting that you host. Surfaced where you were talking about infidelity, and if your boy was to cheat on his wife, you would drive to him and tell him to tell his wife, or you bypass him and go tell her?
That one you've
No,
added. You've
No,
added
no,
bypass.
no,
I didn't. No.
This one, I
didn't say
step
bypass.
down.
You didn't say bypass.
I actually
think
no.
you
You
guys
see,
did it
this
yourselves.
is what's that guy that does fact check podcast?
You said if
we need to bring you on.
Wait,
No.
you said if he doesn't, you tell his wife.
No, I
No.
said we. I
He
said
said
we
you drag
will
him into
sit
the
down
house.
together
Yeah.
and we'll do it. This is the second time, so let it be known on camera.
What do you mean?
Michael tried to stick on me twice and he has failed.
You know
twice.
what? You know what's mad?
Twice.
No. You know what's mad? Yeah. I can't watch the video now. I'm gonna go watch it after.
100%. We'll watch it after together.
If it's, but anyway.
No. If it doesn't, if I didn't
What-
say,
what
what
is
will
it?
you
What is
do?
it?
What will you do? No.
What
What will
is
you
that?
do? If I didn't say bypass.
Yeah, what is it?
If
What-
he
what-
didn't
He didn't say
If I
bypass.
did-
He didn't say bypass.
did-
He definitely didn't say bypass.
So what did he say then?
He
No,
said
no,
that
wait,
he
no.
will
I
drag
will
him in.
know. What's going to happen if we see, we watch it and it doesn't happen?
Okay, wait.
No. Don't go to that bit. What if we watch it?
Has
and
to
what's
apologize.
going to happen?
Then I'll say
Hey,
you
tell me,
didn't
tell
say
me.
No,
this.
you know what? No, you know what you will do. You know what I want from you
What's
guys.
this?
You will go on your page. You will go on the SB Live page, and you will do an apology, and you will tag me in it. That's what I want from you. That's what. No. You will go on the SB Live page. You will tag me in it. You will do collaboration posts, and you will say no. You will come and say, yeah, I
say
spoke on your
bypass.
name. No, after you will watch it together.
Wait, hold on.
And
That's
next week, by
too
next
funny.
You
Friday,
know what? We're being pedantic.
Yeah, but I know what you're saying. Go
To
on.
hell with how you said it or whatnot.
No, you can't say
No,
to hell
wait.
because that's how you're framing the question.
Okay.
That's
Then
the
I'll
business
reframe the
semantics.
question.
No, don't backtrack now.
I'm not
Because
backtracking.
the energy that you came
No,
was
Don't go anywhere.
bypass.
No, the energy will still be the
No,
same.
no.
no,
He
it won't be the
disagrees.
same.
He disagrees. He
No,
disagrees.
the energy is still the
He
same.
disagrees. He disagrees regardless of how it's
Regardless
done.
of how you
He
slice
does
it
bring
down,
anything to
100%.
I disagree with your take.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Regardless of the specifics of the word that you let me
Yeah.
finish.
Okay.
Regardless of the specifics of the word that you use.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't agree.
The reason being
Yeah.
He wouldn't say anything at all.
inserting yourself
Yeah.
or you mandating that the wife knows. I don't think that's necessarily your place.
Okay.
Now, I did caveat my statement by saying this. I think it's a tricky advice to give to the average man.
Yeah.
And I did
Yeah,
say
you did
when
caveat.
we did discuss
Man of
it,
God.
I said, for you, I understand where you're coming from because between you and your cohort of friends, which I assume are ministers like yourself, you guys probably operate and hold yourself to a particular standard that should one of you cheat on their wife, yo, bro, you know the standard that we have here. Oh, this ain't gonna run. We need to hold ourselves accountable, not just because of what you did, but because of the type of men that we are.
Yeah.
We're ministers, we're
Yeah.
leaders, we're X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
So if you guys have built that type of culture in your friendship circle,
Yeah.
then I can understand where you're coming from in terms of holding each other accountable to
Yeah.
the point at which is like, bro, you have to tell her this one,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We have to open your yash within reason, but you have to.
That one's a pause.
Do you know what I
bro.
mean?
That one's
Pause.
massive.
But
The only thing is, yeah, the within reason is was the necessary.
yeah.
So you didn't need to say that. You could have just said like, open your yash, everyone would have been
Do
okay.
you know what I'm saying? So I understand if that's the standard you guys hold yourself to, but I'm saying to the
layman.
to the layman, that's a very tricky advice to give because it's like the man that cheated, or the man that's trying to hold the man that cheated accountable, he's probably doing dirt too. Might not be the same dirt, but so you're trying to tell him, oh yeah, you have to tell your wife, bro, big man, you sin as well, bro. You do what you do as well. So it's, I that aside, I just don't feel like advising people to get in couples business. I think is a very delicate advice to give. I think it could work for you and your circle, but you just saying, oh yeah, man, them hold your boys accountable. If your boy cheats on his girl, make sure he tells his wife or you tell his wife. That's mad.
But I don't. Anyway,
That's
I already know what he's gonna
mad.
say. That's the funny thing.
So first of all, to go back to an early point, words matter, and I say this as a communicator. So when you said the bypass, you still disagree. Words matter. Why? Because it determines the energy and how you frame your question or a narrative. So even though you disagree, but the bypassing paints a picture that I've said I'm going to go without your consent. I'm going to go to your wife and tell her what you did.
to find this
That's why
video.
that is why
Yeah,
it's
it's not
different.
true. That's
So
what I said.
and that's not
He
what I
said,
said.
he
And
said,
that's why
we're
it's
going to sit
important,
down together.
because words, I understand how
He
words
said,
matter.
we are going to sit down
But-
together. You're going to tell your wife, or I will.
Right. So the point that I was making remember they say context is key, Abby.
Yeah.
Context is key. In
I'm
that
as well,
session, it was not a broad stroke thing, because I know a lot of men in that room are not at that place. I'm speaking about which is why in that clip I said
People
these
know me,
men
know
know
me.
me. I will drive to Bedfordshire. I will drive to
Wherever.
Surrey.
And it was that point that I caveated my point, saying when you said these man know me,
But
I was like, okay, cool. You're relating it within your ecosystem,
Right, but
But extending it, that's
You did,
Wait,
well, you did it
wait,
again.
wait,
This is why I said framing is key.
Yeah, bro.
Okay, framing. Because you understood what I said,
Yeah.
And you
then
tried
you said,
to
"Oh,
extrapolation.
but if you make it a general thing, that's the thing. If you understand,
You've now changed.
right? If you understand what I've said, that's all it needs to be. I'm speaking about, and also you said ministers. It's not just ministers. I have friends. I have close friends who are not ministers as well. But the standard that we all hold each other to is high.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, what the point, the essence of what I'm trying to say is that we struggle to hold ourselves as brothers to a high standard.
Yeah.
That was the overarching message, sorry. And that's what I was trying to pull men to. So we use that as an example of, oh, cool. If there's infidelity there, you've gone to your boy, he's saying he's not going to tell his wife. The way our brotherhood is structured is that
I found the video.
No, listen.
Bro said he's cheated on his wife. Bro, it's a long day. I don't play that game. I'm driving to Surrey and we're sitting down together. Whether we sit down there for 3 hours, 4 hours, you will confess to your wife. And bro knows that. Rev knows me well enough as well. I will drive all the way to Bedfordshire. We'll sit down in front of sis and we'll have that conversation. If you're not going to say it, I'm going to say it. And they know I will. So most likely they'll probably say it before I do. But that's the point. Because I love him and I love my sister. If they're truly my brothers, my boys, then we're in it together.
so maybe
If
you
you,
were
That's right.
if you're not gonna say it, I'm gonna say it.
There was a
No.
There's
No.
context.
I'm not.
There's
I'm
context.
listening. If
We're
you're not gonna
listening,
say
we're
it,
listening.
I'll say it.
We're listening. We're listening.
I'm not crazy. People are trying to guess at me. I'm gonna go back to the first video as well.
He
No,
can't
what do you
get it.
mean?
He can't get it.
Mike, you said bypass, right?
Yeah. You said bypass.
No,
You
wait,
said
no,
bypass.
no, wait,
Listen,
no,
listen,
no,
if you
wait.
don't say something to someone, right,
No,
and
there's
then
a
I go
con-
and say it to them, I'm gonna bypass
Yeah,
it.
no,
No,
There's a-
hold on. We're both in the room.
Hold on.
Lead it
Hold
up.
on.
Wait, hold on. No,
Let
wait,
AP
wait,
stand up
wait,
for
wait.
himself.
What are you talking about?
Lead
You're not making me feel like I'm.
No,
Nah,
listen,
no,
listen,
no,
no.
crazy, bro.
No, there's a foundation that
This
was
is how
set.
confirmation bias works.
Yeah.
Listen,
You even said
everything that
3-4
I said,
hours, by the way.
I kept on saying
So we're gonna wait.
we.
The
I will
point I'm saying is,
no,
if he doesn't say something,
Wait.
I will.
You can't
Who
because
are you to
you
say
can't-
something when the perpetrator doesn't say something?
You can't
And-
paint a whole picture by isolating.
Let's not do
you're
this.
Mike,
no,
let him
Mike,
finish.
Mike,
Alright, cool.
wait, you're intelligent enough to know you can't pick out one part of it and then frame
For
a
the
whole
whole
and paint a
conversation.
whole picture. I've said we, and then said if you don't, I will. In the context that we are here
Already
together
there, we're
and you are
already there.
choosing. Remember, why I'm saying this is because in our community, and I say this often at weddings, I say if we're all gonna sit down here as witnesses, let this thing mean something. How can I be your brother? I watched you say I do to your wife. For better, for worse, this, that, and the third. We have the relationship that we have. We've come together and you have chosen to not tell your wife based on the relationship that we have. Even if I know you don't like it and I get you disagree with it, but based on the relationship that we have, if prior to, because remember, I haven't even given context for what happens prior. If we had long conversations, if we sat down, it's just we. I will drive to your house. We will sit down, have this conversation. And if you don't, why I'm saying in this context is because in this space, I am trusted enough to speak. When and I say this often at 412 Men, there are times in my friendship with Pastor Ayo, for example, where I've not done the right thing to my wife. My wife will call my friends, say, your boy's moving mad.
Talk to him.
My bros will call him, his wife, me, my wife. Bro, what you did was silly. What you did is wrong. Apologize. We in the midst. It's not this, bro, let's do it behind closed doors. Bro, pattern up, do the six. in front of my wife, in front of his wife. And even if ego wants to get in the way, I know this is my bro. He's not trying to one-up me. He's not trying to come across as the superior man. This is a man that even though we're brothers and we're peers, I am still accountable. So I'm giving language to a standard of relationship. And the reason why a lot of people oppose it is because they don't understand that level of relationship. I agree with you. A lot of men in that room are not at that level. But what I'm speaking to, like I was saying before, there's sometimes we have to come to this level and engage at low level, engage in who pays on the first date. And sometimes you need to go, there needs to be a higher standard in brotherhood. And I'm giving an example of what this might look like. Notice in the comments, their wives came in the comments and said, yes, bro, we know you will do it. Their own wives were in the comments. My own wife, even though I will say my own wife was there. So these are people that can vouch for me. I live my raps. I am telling people, I'm telling men, come to a higher standard. We can't just be, your boy is stepping out on his wife. You're watching his wife. They've got kids. They've got this, that, and the third. And you're watching your boy live life and not do. You're saying, I challenge him. He doesn't want to listen to me. Bro, do you understand? If you have that level of relationship, there has to be a level of, bro, if we're truly boys and I don't have your ear, we can't be calling ourselves brothers. This is fun. I'm your acquaintance. And this is not to say I'm your pastor, but as your boy, there's mutual accountability. There's mutual respect. I can speak to you, you can speak to me without taking offense. And if you do take offense, we can have a grown conversation and go, you know what? I felt disrespected. You know what, bro? I wasn't even coming on that level. I wasn't even coming on that whatever. That's what the men that I was speaking specifically were there and they can vouch for me. And those men, if I was in that situation, they have permission to do exactly the same thing. So that's why I'm saying framing is key. Yes, I can understand how you got to the point of bypassing, but the point leading up to that, minus, I don't want to do the Samantha go, oh, you didn't see the whole clip, you weren't there. Look, I know you're a wise enough man to know that there's more context to it. But leading in that clip, I led with we will sit down. Why? Because as your brother, I'm in this with you. Do you understand? If I was to pass away as my brother, you're not marrying my wife, but I would hope and pray you would look after my girls. I would hope and pray you look after. That's the standard of brothers I have, if that makes sense.
I think it goes.
So, but yeah, no.
I think it goes back to what you were saying before, in the sense of like.
Sorry, look, this is my energy, by the way.
Yeah, no.
You guys,
Don't worry. No, bro. You guys, I'm like you, bro. Don't worry, I'm like you. I get.
Because sometimes people will be saying,
hey, yo, is that
when
not
I do
me?
this and that, people will be like, he's doing that. This is actually me. This is how I speak on a normal basis.
I'm the same as you, bro. Don't worry, I get you. And I think
this is why the gain on his mic is a bit low.
Sorry, man. This figure's gonna be rocketing.
But it goes back to what we were saying, and I think even like when we were having that discussion on the pod, I think that's what was challenging me as well.
Yeah,
that's like, what does accountability amongst friends actually
look like?
Right.
Because I hear you, and it goes back to what you were saying about, are men actually ready to do the work?
Right.
Because it's one thing to be able to say, yeah, that is bad, but what are you doing against that bad thing?
Right.
So for me, I think that's where on that pod as well, I was sort of
you're in the middle.
More. Because wait, because again, like you said, we can call each other friends and whatever. But then the question of what standard are we holding each other to, and not just what standard, how willing are we to disciple each other on that journey and carry along each other? Because what does that actually look like? And then what that looks like is being able to have these hard conversations.
That is the essence of why I do what I do.
Otherwise,
so we can ask ourselves these questions and have these conversations.
Yeah.
If you don't want to do that with your bros, that was not me saying this is the global standard of accountability. What I am saying is that come up
there's
higher,
a level.
Talk about it, ask questions, have conversations. If you agree in your brotherhood, there's certain grounds we're not going to bypass. That is fine. I am not saying that what I do is what you should do. That's not what I'm doing. But if you can listen to that and go, you know what? As bros, how do we actually hold ourselves accountable? This is the reason why I do what I do. I always tell people, when I'm saying stuff, people may not agree with my opinion. Listen to the
funny thing is,
listen to the principle.
Listen to the. You say things in a manner to create shock so people can think. So that you say things statements where you want to generate thought in the audience. It might not necessarily be your view. Okay, it is your view. The foundation of it is your view. but how you express it is not how necessarily you express it in a normal day-to-day conversation.
exactly.
But you say it in a way to provoke thought. And that's the same way he did. Is the way of, this is what he will do, those are his raps, but he provoked thoughts, because it's the exact conversation we had. It's like,
bro.
you man, do we hold ourselves accountable?
I think
what does that actually look like?
Again, and this is why, because we discussed this without you on, and I said I was going to discuss it with you on the pod, because you give context to it.
Right.
And with you speaking now with the context, I get where you're coming from.
Right.
Right. Which didn't come across in the video. I think for me, it was a combination of a few things. One, in terms of, okay, cool. Accountability without boundary can also be dangerous.
100%.
And exactly, and you'd agree with
100%.
that. So that was one thing.
But but accountability is boundaries as well. It's checks and balances. But that's where, you know what? You know why one of the reasons why men struggle with accountability is because we don't define things. We don't define, and then we leave it to time and chance. So when someone does something crazy, that's when we're going.
Is this
we
over the
don't
line?
come together. You will call him, you will call BC, someone will call someone else and be having siloed conversations. Then you will have this conversation, and you guys, because you don't have a collective view, you will now spend an hour going, you know what, this is my perspective on this matter. You will now say, this is my perspective. There's no, until at some point we go, okay, guys, how are we going to hold this guy accountable? We've been busy talking about
these guys in this.
And that's what I was saying. It gets to a point where you have to have work.
I'm ahead of my time. I'm telling you guys. I'm ahead of my time, guys.
And that's what I said.
This guy broke that side.
It's funny because it's happening in our group.
It's happening.
Listen, man.
I'm the son. Bro, you're calling people like, bro, like, what we what are we supposed to do now? Like, what's the next step?
You're not calling each other in silo, and you're wondering, how are we gonna hold this bro?
And the thing for me is that real question of like, okay, cool. You can say you want to hold each other accountable. You can say you have the best intention, but what does that actually look like? And again, I think what he said is important in a sense where your accountability doesn't necessarily have to look like his accountability. It just has to be effective.
100%.
You get it?
That is literally it.
It just has to be
I think we agree on the premise of the message.
Yes.
I never once disagreed with the notion of accountability, but like I mentioned before, accountability, yes, but accountability also has to have boundaries. And I think there's a cultural aspect to what I'm saying, because sometimes in your efforts to hold someone accountable or trying to do the right thing,
cause damage.
You can cause damage, and you're actually imposing on someone's free will.
But then
because for me, I think, wait, just let me finish my point. I think for me, my stance is, as much as I can love you as my brother, you're my guy and everything, I still have to respect the fact that you have autonomy to do as and what because even God doesn't force us to do stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? We have free will.
Yeah.
You can choose to worship him or not. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me, I think the reason, in as much as I fundamentally agreed with your point, it was the fact that I was very wary of the fact that the message could be potentially misconstrued.
Yeah.
Again, you get people who probably watch your videos and, you know, are inspired by you and are probably very overzealous about Christ. And it's like, this guy's got bare passion. I want that passion too. And then that overzealous nature with that passion, go out and on a
do a man thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold you accountable, bro. And it's like, chill out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, I was more speaking to that point, not disagreeing with the fundamental of accountability, because I also believe that too.
Yeah.
And I'm also a big proponent for brotherhood.
Yeah.
But it's just that fact that, okay, cool, accountability, but let's have checks and balances in place. That's the one. And for me too, again, once you've now broken it down, because you're Kia, it's now a case of, I understand the context by which you meant, if he doesn't say, I will, one, you were referencing the context of your own ecosystem.
Yeah.
And two, it's a case of
you have that relationship.
You have that. And this is a way that it can be solved.
Right.
And the analogy you gave in terms of when you're being a light and an example, sometimes you have to come down low, discipleship, be relatable, and other times you have to call people to greatness.
Yeah.
And if this is an example of
the calling up,
it will definitely resonate with some people.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm not mad at that. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I'm not mad at that.
The bigger picture is that not just that it resonates with people, but people having conversations.
Yeah.
The fruit of what of
And the
that
fact
day,
that it's making people have conversations, I'm happy with that.
But there's a point that he made that I don't want people to miss though. And I think it's very important because I think that is actually one of the fundamental issues as men that make hard conversations hard.
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say. I agree.
And it's that definition and defining.
Yeah.
Because you just said you don't want someone to cross your boundaries, which is fair and fine. But if there's no discussion as to what the boundaries are,
what's your boundary?
what does that look
What's
like?
his boundary?
What does that-
What's his boundary?
No one knows that.
I don't know the
And
boundaries.
until you have that conversation,
It
for
even
everybody
goes a bit.
to know.
Even
But
goes a bit
that's
deeper
why
than
you
that.
were so confident in speaking
Exactly,
in what you
because
were saying.
him and his friends
because
have had
you
that
know the
conversation.
boundaries with your
Fine.
friends.
It's not even-
Exactly.
it's
And
not
that
about
was
boundaries
the fear
only.
in which I'm speaking to because we can't template match that.
But you know the
No,
thing
no,
is,
no, no.
Just-
You
come on,
can,
just
you
let-
can.
no, we
You
can't.
can.
No, we
No,
can't.
no,
Let
no.
me finish.
Wait, wait,
Because there was a point I was
No,
making.
Wait.
The reason you can't template match what he said is,
You
like,
can.
let's say to our group, because he's speaking with so much
Yeah.
confidence and surety because he knows the boundaries
Again.
that he can't cross.
Again,
and let me
you
finish.
can.
He knows the boundaries of his friend. Again, he
You
just
can have
asked
that
us
same conversation. The boundaries are just
but-
different.
No, but what I'm saying
No,
is,
but
they've had that conversation
Yeah.
of boundaries.
No, but you know-
you don't know my boundaries.
No, but that's the point I'm making.
No, but that's the
can't
point
have
I'm
that
trying to make.
conversation.
to have.
That's why he was- no, that's where he was
Well,
trying
that's
to
what
go.
I'm saying.
And that's the problem. That was the issue. That's
Where
the point I was
you-
making.
where we
I
don't
think
have
boundaries is the wrong
that's what
word,
he's
by
trying
the
to
way.
say.
I think
It's not boundaries,
standards.
but
I think
yeah,
standards.
Standards, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
standards,
yeah.
boundaries,
Because I think
yeah,
template
yeah,
whatever.
insinuates
Yeah,
something.
but-
And
Yeah.
again, and
Yeah.
again,
Yeah,
and again, the
because
point
copy
I'm-
what you man did blindly into a
Yeah,
friendship.
No, you
and
can't do
that's
that.
a mad thing.
No, and again,
But it's
what-
about
the
what I'm
purpose.
saying
But the
is this.
purpose of
Wait,
that
wait,
clip
wait.
It's to
Go,
start
go,
the
go,
Hold
go.
on, hold on.
Yeah.
What I'm saying by defining, again,
Defining
it
the
doesn't
standard
mean
to your group.
Yeah, of your group.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that what
Exactly.
he's saying
Is the standard of our
standard.
group.
Yes.
Or
Literally.
you're saying is the
Yeah, I
if
agree.
everybody
Defining the standard of your
communicates
group.
as a group, like
Yeah.
you said, and says, you know what, this is how I would like things to
Yeah.
be. You say this is what and then you find an amalgamated path that would work for the group of friends, and then you hold each other to that standard that you
Yeah.
agreed on. That's what I mean. It doesn't have to look like that.
Yeah, I agree.
But the point I'm trying to make is men as general, and you just said
We're
it,
not doing
we
that.
don't have that conversation.
Yeah, no,
We don't do that.
And that's the point I was
I
making.
agree
and
with
I
that
think that's-
premise.
And I
don't
think
wanna be
and I think the
missed,
reason
because
why
that
that
would
is
answer a lot of
and I think the
problems
reason
in
why
our
that is
groups.
that when we come to an agreed standard, people are fearful to be held to that standard.
Right.
Fair.
Regardless.
That is
Man,
the
them
biggest
do
issue
work.
I find
Man,
for
them
men.
do work.
That's the biggest
Yeah.
issue because there
Man, them work.
was a subsequent post, and I was like, man, I'm not talking about loyalty. A lot of this loyalty is fake.
Fake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't have agreed standards.
You don't.
Yeah.
Man, them, one rule for one of the man them, one of the man, he's promiscuous. We will allow that.
We'll allow- he can
when
do his thing.
Sheds, who's following the ways of the Lord, when he goes wayward, you
Everyone
don't
knows
judge him the
that.
same.
Yeah.
You will now say he's a man of God. He should have known better. But so and so he was promiscuous. We understand him. That's how he's been. That's how. So the standards aren't the same. So you're holding yourselves up to this full sense of loyalty. But he's my boy though. We understand one another. That's just the dynamics of the group. And you don't realize that it's only when you get older and you're looking back at life and you're going, what's the basis of our friendship?
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
The basis of our friendship was only
Randomness,
that we only
nonsense.
went out. We used to go and eat suya every Friday night together. But you don't have depth. And that's why many men are dying lonely. They're dying lonely because they couldn't connect with. It's only when one of the uncles has prostate cancer. Or when another one has a tumor.
Now they don't know
or
how to
another
deal
one
with
has
it.
lost his wife.
literally, yeah.
And now it's forcing you to open up. Someone has lost his child. Now, bros, you know what? I am going through a great level of depression. And now it's only at that point that's when man them are opening up. No one would think, okay, you know what? The next time we link up, man them, you know what? Let's shift the conversation. If any of us cheated, how would we hold each other accountable? I'm giving you guys nuggets. When you get man them link up together, I want you to do this as part of your conversation. If one of us cheats, how do we handle that?
Don't bypass
You
me,
would
child.
Don't
Don't fucking bypass
as
me.
you
You
talk,
mad?
as you reason,
Like
you
it's
will
crazy.
see where everyone's head is at.
Exactly. Yeah,
But
yeah,
then
yeah.
also, it will get, someone will say, oh no, this is my point
Yeah,
of view, and I think that, challenge that. The other person will challenge, but then at some point you have to go, with all the challenging, how do we come to a result?
agreement.
We know how to do it with women. Interesting.
Yeah.
You know how to find a
Good
resolve
point.
and a compromise
Good
for
point.
women.
Good point.
I've done
Good
a post about this year.
Good point.
We
Good
know
point.
how to
Good point.
suck.
Good point.
So when you're talking about pandering, it's very interesting because we shape pandering as a men are in this equality age. Men are pandering to women. Man them pandem to man them, but it's because it doesn't seem like a masculine thing to do. Man them, the way man them pander to man them, I think if you sit that when you go home think about it, the way man them pander to man them is worse than the way man them pander to women. Man them know that the way you live sucks. But because he's got bread and because he's
lie.
got a rollie
Yeah,
and because he's got a nice whip, the way we would just be sucking up and... Do you understand?
I can't lie, man them up. They don't have to beg
Pander
friends
to
still.
man them, sorry. But we always do this thing where, man them are pandering to... Man, you will see, as you said earlier, the way man them open their nyash for women, man them do it for man them. But because we don't often talk like this. If I talk like this, you will see how man them go, what's this guy? You will see man them trying to cook me based on what I just said. But man them pander to man them.
No, you're right.
It just doesn't seem, it's just not feminine.
No one talk about it.
Do you get what I'm saying? When we have hard conversations, you will see men progress. I get it. There are men who pander to women, and there's some things that sounds like pandering, but we all do it. It's how we frame it. It's how when man them do it, it's loyalty. It's man them defending the brotherhood. When we do it for women, it's he's just trying to get into her trousers. He's just trying to get engaged. No, I'm a son of a prophet. I come there for a reason. I know what I'm saying. I'm saying all of this. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying all of this to say that even within that 1 minute 30 reel, or 1 minute 30 reel, 90-second reel, what's being said, because of how society has been groomed on social media, you can't pause, listen again, have conversations. We just jump to conclusions. And that's why further posts and people that follow me, a lot of people were like, yeah, I understand. A lot of people weren't going, this is exactly what I would do. But people were going, this makes sense. You will see a lot of women going, men holding other men accountable. It's not to say, oh, that's what you need to do in your own circle. Find a measure of accountability and make sure you stick to it.
Yeah.
That is it. Women just want men to hold themselves accountable and have a fair standard in their group. And not go, we told you about something, your boy was moving brazy, and you just gave him a slap on the wrist. That's why we're not taken serious. If we take one another, if you truly care about your brother and you want the best for him, you will remove I'm trying to come holier than thou. When you realize, you know what, bro, I saw what you did to wifey the other day. You may not say this in front of his wife when bro, I saw what you did to wifey the other day. I don't think you did it on purpose, but bro, I'm just, even if you're not married, this is the thing.
Israel's a pro.
When your bros know you, they will not believe that you're trying to be something you're not. They will not approach at first unless you want to really be defensive and say, bro, who made you the what do they call it? The leader of the who made you the leader of the group? But if your boy truly knows the best of you and you come to him in love, he will not think that you're trying to son him. He will not do you understand? He will not think that. He will not. If I say something to Israel's not going to go, is it just because you're my older brother? No. He knows that I'm looking out for him, whether in marriage, whether it's in his journey in parenthood or leadership. I can speak to him like that because he knows I love him. If I said something out of turn or what, he can always come to me and say, bro, you know what? I didn't like the way you said it, but I hear what you're saying and I agree with what you're saying. When you have that common shared understanding, you can speak to every one of yourselves. You don't have to be married. You don't have to be in a relationship. But the point is, even as a married man, you can say to your bros, you know what? It's time. Man of God, it's time. It's time to get into a solid rate. I see you. You're doing well, this, that, and the third, but I know you need to buckle down in that sense. You can't then now go to him and go, bros, are you trying to force me into marriage? No, he can see. He's like a wing mirror.
He just wants better for you, kind of.
He can see your blind spots. He knows that, I know you haven't checked your blind spots. That is what brotherhood is about. What I can't see, you guys have seen. And you guys can put, bros, there's something in your rear view, you've not clocked it. Just letting you know.
But then I think that's where the conversation is important, you know? Because
That's
then
where-
it
that's where we end.
appeases. That's where it appeases.
100.
That's where it appeases.
Hey, you know what the thing is, is the crux of this is have conversations with Amanda.
Yeah, bro, real conversations.
real
Definitely.
conversations.
I'm
Real conversations.
definitely
conversations.
a big advocate for like
Real
brotherhood,
conversations, man.
friendship, having real conversations.
Bro.
But I think having you here to come and sit down with us is
good, man.
It's been good. Definitely
Yeah,
been
man.
eye-opening.
Great
I think
conversation.
a lot of the times, I may not agree with your method or how you deliver certain things or what you say, but I think fundamentally, I appreciate what you're trying to do. You know, I appreciate what you're trying to do. And I always have. I always question it. I didn't like the way he said that. Or the goal is right, but this method,
somehow.
Anyway,
And it's fine. It's fine. At the end of the day, my heart, whether you disagree or not, whatever, my heart towards you still remains the same. I want you to be a man that is fruitful, that is successful in all areas of his life. I want you to thrive and flourish. And maybe some of the things that I've said, whether you don't like the delivery or you don't like what I actually said or what I disagree, let those words, I know, listen, let me tell you something, and it's not even pride. I just know God has given me a way with people where I say things, even if you disagree. One day in your house, you will remember I said it. And it will cause you to go on this rabbit trail, whatever. Or one day, I might call you or text you and say something. And that's going to send you on a different trajectory. He knows. I'll WhatsApp him. I'll say, man of God, we need to have a call. And I'll tell him off. Look, he's sitting there. I'll call him. And I'll tell him, there is greatness. But I have noticed, ... Yeah. But I don't just leave him there. How I can help him and support him get to where he needs to be, I will do that. But he very much knows. If there's someone that's going to tell him off, he knows it's me or he knows it's going to be my brother. Yeah. Sometimes you just need those people in your life. And when you have those people, take that as an act of God's mercy. It means that God has his eye on you for a reason. Not to say that God is selective or he's just biased. But when you have those people, don't take it for granted. Because what that means is that where your blind spots haven't been checked, people now help you do that so that you can then become the man that does that for other people. Yeah. Period. That's the end of the story. The reason why you're having this conversation is because the fruit of it is not just the corporate accountability. There's young men that are watching all three of you. The rest of the man them from SB Live, they are watching your lives. And one day, you then become the Agbas of the scene. You will now come on their podcast and talk about masculinity. You now, as I'm raising my voice and shouting my head off, it's you, Mike, that will be doing it on their podcast. That is why I'm glad to be here. I always wanted us to have that conversation. That's why I nudged him I wanted to have this conversation. It's not just about the context, but I know what this means for you guys. I know, even though we don't often talk all the time, I know how me modeling manhood has impacted all of you in one way, shape, or form. I know it. I don't say that in pride. So I know the importance of me being on here. But the greater importance is what I've shared or imparted to you guys. You guys, as you go off to your nephews and the young bucks that are watching all you guys, what I'm doing to you, you have to now go and do it to them. That's how the narrative changed. I didn't just come on the podcast so we can be gisting. I didn't leave where I live to come here for gisting. No. It's bigger than that.
I'll be honest with you. Like, I'm somebody that like he's had the opportunity to have a close relationship. I've also been more of a peripheral, right? And even for me, like watching your content, seeing how you are in person, all of these different things, like, yeah, bro, it's encouraged me on my sort of development that it isn't. It doesn't have to be the way that I thought it was. Do you get it? And even me, it's encouragement to be able to tell the next generation the same message that. Don't worry, you can be good, you can do good, and it don't have to be in some sort of archaic way. It can be in a way that, works for you, but it's still in Christ's light. Do you get it? And for me, that's why I want to appreciate you and say, keep doing what you're doing, because you are teaching the next generation, you are giving people hope, you are giving people the ability to be able to be like, you know what? Maybe my preconceived notion wasn't the right. Do you know what I mean? So I just want to encourage you to say, you're right. It wasn't prideful. You're right in what you were saying. Like, we've all probably picked up something from what you're saying. So thank you for coming.
Sorry to stop you. That even reminds me. There's an instance that we have. I'm not necessarily going to say it like. I don't know if you remember. Maybe about 2 years ago, there was an instance that happened, and I pulled you aside about a particular thing. In a moment, you were raised.
Where was this?
Somewhere.
Was it?
Think about it.
Was it
a wedding? A wedding, yeah.
Spain.
Yeah. Even I remember
the conversation. But I don't remember the conversation, but I remember us having I remember having a conversation, but I don't remember the contents of it.
In the moment, and I remember saying this, in the moment of X, you may not have wanted to hear what I had to say.
Oh, I just recalled.
I don't remember what we talked about though.
But a day or two after, we sat down and I was reasoning with you and highlighting certain things that you may have missed out in the actual moment. But why that came to mind is because when I saw that, for me, I was doing that thing where I'm not coming to where you are, I'm bringing you higher. I'm calling you to
I
this.
think I know what it is.
Oh, you remember?
Talking
Okay,
about. Yeah.
Even me, I remember.
Why I spoke in that way
Yeah,
was because
yes.
Yeah.
I see and know better of you,
yeah.
and I have to call you here.
Yeah, I
in that
remember.
moment, you weren't. There were some things I could have, if I wanted to, I could have taken offense. I could have done this. He doesn't know that. I didn't. I waited for an opportune time, and I think it was like a day or two after, where we sat down and we reasoned. Sometimes, so what? As we're doing this podcast, this is not. I'm not talking about fairy tale stuff.
Yeah,
This is
actual-
real proximity
actual-
stuff.
yeah.
When we go off the camera, we can talk about it.
Yeah, yeah.
But do you get what I'm saying?
In that moment in time, I was not in my right senses.
No, he wasn't. But I remember the situation. Yeah, he wasn't still.
But anyway,
Mike lost it that day. I
that's what just
remember.
came to mind whilst
I
we
loved it.
were wrapping up.
You weren't even talking to anybody.
So, but yeah, I say that to say
remember.
that, you know what I mean? For me, it's about men that are in my proximity, men that are in my sphere of influence. I don't want to miss the opportunity to not speak to them when I have the opportunity to. So yeah, by God's grace, you guys keep on doing the good work. You guys have been pushing. You guys have been consistent.
Thank you, man.
And I
We
pray
try,
that
man.
Appreciate you,
more
man.
fruitful conversations.
Amen.
And higher heights as well.
Amen.
Hey, listen, before we wrap up,
Church
let's do the
announcements.
church announcements.
Come on.
Plug yourself quickly. Obviously, they know you're out there, your church, you make content,
Yeah.
all that good stuff.
Sure. So we're City Worship London. You can find
on.
us on Instagram and TikTok.
Yep.
And online. Then me myself, it's Game Changer, but it's spelled differently. GameChanger. So it's Game Changer, but just add the E after
We'll
the
put
first
it at
A.
the bottom so you
yeah,
can
it's
see
there.
it.
So
Don't
yeah,
It's there.
yeah, on Instagram and TikTok, and yeah, man, connect. And,
man.
Thank you guys.
Thank
Powerful
you guys.
podcast, man.
Church
Church
announcements.
announcements.
That's where you find
Tell
it.
your
Church
neighbor, what's the
announcements.
neighbor?
Neighbor.
Like,
Comment.
comment, subscribe.
Subscribe.
Come on.
SB Live.
We're out.
Huh?